Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Eddie Westfield at Santa Ana Stadium. It's eight-man football here on SportsNetUSA.net, and tonight, two teams in need of a victory here as the 2-4 Bakersfield Spartans come in to face off against the Spirit Academy Warriors. Hi, everyone. My name is Nathan Percy alongside Ryan Osborn. Very happy to have you with us this evening. A very pleasant, cool evening tonight, as we are here in Santa Ana, the heart of Orange County. Spirit Academy last week, 42-28, the loss against Life Academy. This Bakersfield Spartans team is out of that same program out in Bakersfield. And again, it was just another instance of mistakes late in the ball game kind of costing this Spirit Academy team, but it's homecoming night tonight. How much do you think that plays into it, the pride factor coming in and seeing some of these old alumni watching you in the stands?
Well, it plays a big factor because you always want to be able to protect your home field, especially when a team's coming all the way from Bakersfield and then they come into Southern California. It's homecoming night, so they're going to want to protect Eddie Westfield, keep the home field advantage, and not allow that Bakersfield team to have the advantage here early on.
Spirit Academy will receive the game's opening kick. Bakersfield will kick off. We talked with the coaches, I should say, before the game. Bakersfield priding itself on its team speed and athleticism tonight, hoping to use that to put up some quick points. But Spirit Academy hoping to slow it down, and they've got some offensive plays that they think might have an impact against the defense as well. What are you looking at as the keys to the game tonight?
Well, the big thing for Spirit is they have to utilize their quickness, because if they're not quick on defense, then you're going to see the Bakersfield team, you're going to see the Spartans, they're going to run it down Spirit's throat. So if they're not quick on defense, if they're not quick off the line of scrimmage, then they're going to have trouble because they're going to be on their heels the entire game. When you look at the offense, like you mentioned, Coach Robert Hammond, he said there are a couple plays that he feels can allow them to have that advantage early on the offensive side. But it's going to be the O-lineman. Can they give some protection to Stroud once he's under center? If they can, then they're going to have some success.
Those offensive linemen to keep an eye on: Michael Decker and Adrian Gutierrez, the two starting guards. Chad McFarland will be the starting center tonight, and Jacob Lewis will be seen at guard as well. For Bakersfield, wearing purple and black, we asked their coaches, head coach Ryan Hossman and assistant coach Tracy Terry, what makes your team unique? And they said, well, we wear purple. Not very many teams out here wear purple, but they are sporting the purple with the white numbers, the white helmets, and the black pants. As you mentioned, they are all the way from Bakersfield. They said the trip down here wasn't terrible. Just a couple of patches here and there, but it's Southern California. That's going to hit just about everybody. Just about set to go for the kick here. Marcus Rodriguez has it on the tee. Eli Nellison back at the 7-yard line. The left footer puts the boot to the ball. Nellison makes the catch at the 16, tries to follow the blocking up the middle, cuts it out to the outside, but he's met at the 32-yard line by Desmond Anderson. And that will bring up 1st and 10 for the Warriors at their own 33-yard line. So here comes Zach Stroud and company. The Warriors tonight wearing their home navy blue uniforms with the white stripes on the shoulder pads, white numbers, and white helmets. As we mentioned, on the line, Michael Decker, Chad McFarland, Adrian Gutierrez. Zach Stroud, your starting quarterback. He is from Capistrano Valley High School. Alex Resendez, the starting wide receiver. And Eli Nellison will be the starting running back, and most likely we'll see Brandon DeRitter back there as well. Stroud will start under center, single back formation set, two receivers split wide to the right. A pitch back to Nellison, trying to find room on the outside. A flag is tossed, and Nellison is clipped at about the 35-yard line, falls forward to the 37. But we'll see if this flag will bring the play back. The tackle made by Richard Pruitt, the weak side linebacker.
And that flag is going to go against Spirit. And getting that flag is Chad McFarland. It's going to be a hold on the near side, as going for the rush there was Levi Morris. He had the upper hand. He had the edge. But as he was going into the backfield, it was McFarland who grabbed onto the jersey and held for too long.
So the hold against McFarland will take it back to the 20-yard line. That's a 13-yard penalty when all is said and done, because it's from the spot of the foul, so 10 yards back from the 30. And we'll repeat first down. So 1st and 23 from the 20-yard line as Palmquist splits wide to the right. 2 receivers split wide to the left, Hammond and Resendez. Stroud looking towards the left, will fire up the middle, nearly intercepted by Richard Pruitt, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 23.
His initial target was Alex Resendez. Resendez was just making a simple slant route right up the middle. He was there about 7 yards away, and Stroud tried to sidearm that one as he was starting to feel pressure from behind him. So once he let it go, he sidearmed it, didn't put a lot of power behind it, and it didn't have that zing to get to his target.
Palmquist off the field for Spirit Christian Academy. The starting defense here for the Bakersfield Spartans, as we mentioned, Richard Pruitt has already had a hand in 2 plays tonight. Levi Morris, Desmond Anderson, and Jaime Vidal, Jacob Lopez, the 3 on the line. Is this one a handoff to Nellison? He's caught behind the line of scrimmage and brought down for a loss of a couple. And on the tackle there was the defensive end, Levi Morris. So 3rd down and about 24. They'll give him a loss of 1.
And it was one of the Pruitt brothers, the 4 Pruitt brothers, and Richard Pruitt, who had the pressure up the middle, forcing Nellis to go to the outside where additional help was for Bakersfield.
Richard Pruitt, Zeke Jackson, and Tim Lucero, the linebackers. Marquise Foreman and Darius Washington, your 2 safeties for Bakersfield here tonight. They've got Spirit Christian Academy pinned deep. 3rd and 24 from the 19-yard line. This snap goes wide of Stroud. He has to go back and pick it up. Now he's got to evade pressure. Finds room on the right side. Still running. Pruitt can't bring him down. He's at the 30. Got room to the 40. 1st down. He is gone unless Washington can keep up with him here. 10-5. Washington grabs on. Not in time. Touchdown, Warriors. There is a flag, however, at the 44-yard line. So we'll see if Stroud's efforts there go for it. When he got that ball, he was all the way back at the 3-yard line, 2 or 3-yard line, and had to find space, found a seam on the right side. But was there a hold that allowed him to get that final break into the end zone? It looks like it will be a holding call, and that's going to negate the touchdown in a spectacular run by Stroud. But that flag, was placed at the 44-yard line. So that'll bring up 3rd down once again. They still get a lot of yardage out of it, and they get to replay the down.
They got 26 yards out of that play. And like you said, they get to replay the down. So basically, it is a 3rd and 9 for Spirit.
Well, if you're going to get a holding call, at least get a good gain out of it, and that's what Stroud was able to do right there. So 3rd and 9, which is a lot more manageable than 3rd and 24. As Nellison will line up in a shotgun formation, Lewis is to his left-hand side. And now they bring on Navarro late, and Hammond is going to take a timeout. So with 10:23 left in the first, Hammond takes his first time out. Spirit Christian Academy has a 3rd and 9 coming up. And with all the running Stroud did along the sideline, I think it was wise to give him a break there. But at the same time, if you're Hammond and you have to bring on somebody into the formation that late, probably better just to take a timeout and not risk anything.
Yeah, and on that play, Stroud ran over 97 yards. It was from his own 3 to the touchdown, so to the end zone. But not to mention the time he spent running to the football, escaping the pocket, getting away from the pressure. So he runs in total over 120 yards. At least he gets the gain on it. But like you said, if they're going to bring a person on the field right at the end, right when the play clock is winding down for them, it's better to take that timeout. Reason being is because they can check out what the defense had in mind. It's almost like a hard count situation for a quarterback. He gets to see exactly what the defense was planning, and then they can plan accordingly in that timeout.
So Hammond and the offense talk things over. Now they bring in a tight formation. Micah Hammond, the tight end on the right-hand side. And the snap under center was Nellison. He fakes the give and tries his luck on the right side. He's met by the outside defensive end Levi Morris, and he's dropped at the 35-yard line. No gain on the play. That'll bring up a 4th down and about 8. So give him a gain of 1.
Desmond Anderson had the secondary contact there for the Spartans, and they just forced him to the outside. He was initially looking to throw, but his options down the field were just 7 yards downfield, and they were covered by the cornerback there in Sherman Pruitt on the outside near sideline.
So 4th and 8. It's Bakersfield's speed already a factor here. As you mentioned, they've been able to keep up with the receivers. And now it's DeRitter back deep to punt. Resendez on the outside, but DeRitter will get this one away. A short kick that'll land near midfield. Resendez thought about grabbing it, lets it bounce, and now Resendez and Lewis will walk it down to about the 37-yard line. And we'll get a chance to see Bakersfield's offense here with 9:15 remaining here in the first quarter. No score between Spirit Christian Academy and Bakersfield. You're watching 8-Man football here on SportsNetUSA.net. Nathan Percy alongside Ryan Osborn. Very happy to have you with us here on a Saturday night. Very nice night for football as well. That fall weather is really starting to kick in.
Yes, indeed. We have some cloud cover, and it's a little bit over 74 degrees at start of game time, as opposed to maybe a month ago it would have been 92 and humid.
That sounds like what it was last week when Spirit Christian Academy played Life Academy, a 10 a.m. game, and by the third quarter it had reached about 94 degrees. So both of these coaches very happy to have some cooler weather down here as Darius Washington, the 5'11", 145-pound quarterback, gets us underway. He hands it off to the deep setback who's fighting for extra yards, and he gets up to about the 42-yard line for a gain of about 5. And on that run, Marcus Furlow.
Initial contact behind the line of scrimmage was Junior Vasquez. He had the running back wrapped up in his arms. It was just the will that got him that additional yardage.
High formation set, one receiver split wide to the left, and they got the handoff off, but just barely as Decker brings down the running back. Barely did Washington get that handoff as Lewis blew up the offensive line and immediately got to the quarterback, Washington. So no gain on that play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5.
So far it's still early on, but we've seen the Spartans try to go to the ground and seen their defense start to hold up. Speed has been one of their strengths, so we're going to see it again on this play.
Washington under center, I formation set. 4 linemen, drops the football at the snap and is caught behind the line. Ball still on the ground. And Spirit Christian Academy comes up with the recovery. It looks like Decker is down there. Either Decker or Andy Navarro, who came up with the football. And now Spirit Christian Academy has great field position at the Bakersfield 40-yard line.
Darius Washington was standing on top of the football, trying to land on the football. He wasn't trying to pick it up, but he was trying to land on it. And you saw right there, Decker made sure that he pushed him out of the way, used his strength to be able to get to the football, allow Spirit Christian Academy to have sole possession and the inside track to the football. If not, Washington just picks it up, lands on it, and they still have the ability to punt it.
I thought that at first it looked like Washington had the football, but as you alluded to, he was kind of being held or boxed out, if you will, as Spirit Christian Academy was able to come up with the football. So it looks like we'll start this drive with a 5-yard penalty, a delay of game. We'll back Spirit Christian Academy up to the 45-yard line of the Spartans. But now good field position here for the home team as Nellison is the quarterback here. Nellison back to pass. He'll scramble out to the left-hand side using his speed, tries to spin away from a tackler and is brought down just past the original line of scrimmage at the 39-yard line, a 6-yard gain.
Tackle there made by Levi Morris on that far side.
Levi Morris and Richard Pruitt, the two linebackers, really having a hand in quite a few of these plays to start off the football game tonight. So second down at about 9. As Nellison picks up 6 yards. Not seeing Stroud on the sidelines, but I'm not seeing him in the game either. So Nellison again, the quarterback, 2 receivers to his left and 1 to his right. He's going to go deep to the left-hand side. Boy, that pass came out wobbly, and it's tipped in, intercepted by Washington at the 29-yard line. And Bakersfield will take the ball back with 6:57 remaining here in the first quarter.
That was tipped by Zeke Jackson. He goes to the outside. The initial target was to Alex Resendez. However, Nellison gets hit as he's throwing the ball, so it starts to flutter out there. Resendez, when he goes up for it, mistimes his jump, and that allowed Zeke Jackson to get a hand on it, and right behind him is Washington. So Washington drops the ball on his last possession, and what does he do to make up for it? Gets an interception.
Well, I'm sure that's got to feel good for the quarterback, who is back under center here. I formation set, 1 receiver to the left. They hand off to the fullback, one of the Pruitt brothers. He's brought down at about the 32-yard line for a gain of 3 on first down. That was Sherman Pruitt on the run. And that'll bring up a second down and 7. Pruitt, 5'8", 170 pounds. The rest of that offense on the line, Tim Lucero, the center, Desmond Anderson and Jaime Vidal, the 2 guards. Running backs, Zeke Jackson, Sherman Pruitt, the fullback, quarterback Darius Washington, and Levi Morris, the tight end. So, Richard Pruitt, the wide receiver, split wide to the left. They pitch it back to the running back, and he makes one cut, one-man miss. He's on the far sideline, slips through a couple of other tackles, tries to spin his way out of a third, but finally brought down in Warrior territory at the 46-yard line. That's well good enough for a first down. And Bakersfield rolling here. A nice run there by the running back, Zeke Jackson.
Andy Navarro finally makes the stop for the Spirit Warriors.
A 22-yard run there for the running back. And now 1st and 10 at the Warriors' 46-yard line. I formation set once again. They hand it off to the fullback, Pruitt, who muscles his way forward up the middle for another 3-yard gain on first down. Decker, one of the men in there on the tackle, as was Chad McFarland. It'll be a 2nd and 7 at the 43. So as you mentioned, right now it seems like Bakersfield, definitely with the inside runs on the first down, trying to shove it down Spirit Academy's throat a little bit early on. As they've got the I formation set once again, they pitch it back to the running back, and making one-man miss, getting a nice little hold to the outside is Jackson, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 18-yard line. McFarland pushing him out of bounds. And there's a flag at the 40-yard line. And there's a player down at the 28 as well. And that looks to be Desmond Anderson, one of the guards for Bakersfield. So Anderson down. It looks like they're checking out that left leg, and there's 2 flags now. Both of them are at the 45-yard line. And if the play stands, it started at the 42-yard line, ending at the 18. Would be a 24-yard play for Jackson, the 6'2", 200-pound running back. It looks like it will be a holding call against Bakersfield. They've respotted the ball at the Spartans' 45-yard line, as they continue to check on the starting guard, Desmond Anderson. He's 6'1", 256 pounds, and he's down at the 28-yard line. Again, folks, You're watching 8-Man football here on SportsNetUSA.net. 5:14 remaining here in the first quarter. No score between Spirit Christian Academy and the Bakersfield Spartans. Spirit Christian Academy coming in at 1-4 overall this season after a 42-28 loss last week to Life Academy. And the Spartans 2-4 overall this season. And in talking with coaches Ryan Hossman and Tracy Terry, the two said that this Bakersfield team, by the way, this is the first year that this Spartans team has come together as a football team. They started practicing about 3 weeks before the football season started, and because it's 80% homeschooled kids, they only get a chance to practice 3 times per week as a team. But still coming in at 2-4, they've improved on their conditioning. Assistant coach Tracy Terry said that was one of the biggest things they've improved upon, as well as their cohesiveness and chemistry. They've really come together, and both of these coaches believe that this team can really do some special things if it works together and utilizes that speed to its advantage. Of course, this team is one of 3 out of the Life Academy program. We got a chance to see the first of those 3 teams last week, that team coached by Keith Powell. And that Life Academy team, down 14-13 at halftime, came back to win last week 42-28. In fact, Keith Powell coached Ryan Hossman in high school back in 1993-94. As Hossman told us before the game. So the two ran into each other recently, and Powell said, "Hey, how do you feel about coaching?" Hossman said, "Yeah, absolutely." And next thing you know, they were starting a 3rd team out here in Bakersfield and bringing it down to Santa Ana. As they continue to look at Desmond Anderson on the field, they've brought out a cart, and for us up here in the booth, we never want to see that, and we hope that Anderson is okay. It's not too serious. So they put him on the back of the cart here. That's the one thing about these teams. They're already stretched so thin. 20 players on the roster for Spirit Christian Academy, and at least 5 or 6 of them are not here this evening. So Spirit Christian Academy down to 14 players, and Bakersfield started with 15, and now one of them suffering an injury here in the first quarter as they cart Anderson off the field. We certainly hope he's okay, and we send our wishes and a speedy recovery to Desmond Anderson, the starting guard for Bakersfield. As the holding call again has put the Spartans back to the 45-yard line.
And remember, all games here on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Miller Toyota of Anaheim has the widest variety and selection of cars and vehicles in Orange County and California. If you're looking for that gift for that special someone, well, they have gas savers such as the Prius, Camry, Corolla, and Matrix. Or maybe you want something with a little bit of muscle behind it. Well, they have that too down at Miller Toyota of Anaheim. The Tundra, the Tacoma, whatever you need, you can check them out online at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com or in person at the corner of the 91 in Euclid. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports high school sports, community college sports, and most of all, education.
It's a good Christmas idea. I hadn't thought about that. I formation set as we're back in action here. 5:14 remaining in the first quarter. Washington under center for Bakersfield. He pitches it back to Furlow. Furlow has been the man starting at running back tonight. He cuts back to the left-hand side and falls forward to the Bakersfield 47-yard line. A gain of about 8 on second down. It'll bring up a 3rd and 11.
Making the tackle was Eli Nellison. He just barely got a hand on the ankles there of the running back. If not, he's off to the races. But Nellison was able to save it for Spirit Academy and allow Spirit to keep the yardage gain to a minimum.
So a timeout called by Ryan Hossman and the Bakersfield Spartans. It's their first timeout here in the first half. No score between these two. 4:44 remaining in the first quarter. But Bakersfield starting to gain some offensive momentum behind the strong running legs of Marcus Furlow. 4 rushes for 35 yards so far tonight. And just as the coaches had said before the game, Bakersfield has not attempted a pass. They've just been running the ball so far in this first quarter, and it's starting to work out pretty well.
It has indeed, and when we talked to the coaches beforehand, they said the best strength that they have in answering your question was they have speed and lots of it. So they're going to try to go to that running game because they know that they have the ability to break past that second layer of defense for anybody they go up against. So the running game, if they can get it going, it can be lethal.
Marcus Rodriguez brought in to replace the injured Desmond Anderson. I formation. Washington now back to pass. Has a wide open receiver who's got clear space ahead of him. Nellison with the shoestring tackle at the 9-yard line. On the reception was the tight end Levi Morris. And that play was simply worked to perfection because of all the running they had done earlier on the drive.
I think Coach Ryan Hosman heard you from all the way up here, and he said, we haven't passed yet. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to pass, and it was just a simple play-action pass. They faked the handoff to the running back in Pruitt. Washington throws it downfield, has a wide-open receiver, and they have the big gain.
38 yards down to the 9-yard line. First and goal for the Spartans. Washington under center. They replace the receiver with Marquise Foreman. They pitch it back to Furlow, trying to go right end. Cuts it back up the middle, finds a little hole, and gets it up to about the 4-yard line. Looked to be perhaps DeRitter on the tackle there. Actually, McFarland, the guy coming up with the tackle at the 4-yard line. It's a 5-yard gain by Furlow. So second and goal. They have the ball at the 4-yard line. As the Spartans looking to strike first here late in the first quarter. I formation set once again. Furlow the deep setback. Pruitt, the fullback, they hand it to Furlow up the middle and in there for the touchdown. And Bakersfield strikes first with 3:29 left to go here in the first quarter and a 4-yard touchdown run by Furlow.
And that was just a simple misdirection play from Furlow. He fakes to his right a couple steps, then goes to the left as he sees the hole open up, and it was a gaping hole. The offensive line for the Spartans allowed him to have that hole. You could have driven a semi-truck through that hole, and they still would have scored.
I don't know if a semi-truck would have been as fast as Furlow was through the hole. But either way, whatever gets the job done, it would have had the same amount of power. They pitch it back to Furlow once again, spins through one tackle, dives in, 2-point conversion is good, and Bakersfield strikes first. They get the 2-point conversion, and they have an 8-0 lead over Spirit Christian Academy with 3:29 remaining here in the first quarter. You're watching 8-Man football here on SportsNetUSA.net. Spirit Christian Academy. We'll have to try to come up with a response in a moment, but again, I do not see Zach Stroud on the sidelines or on the field. That would be a huge loss for this team.
And since we have a break in the action, once again, we'd like to remind you that all games here on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Miller Toyota of Anaheim, well, if you want parts or service, their parts and service department is open 7 days a week for your convenience. So if you have that Toyota and you're looking for that oil change, go ahead and check out Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Check out their online specials at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com or check them out in person at Miller Toyota of Anaheim. You can check them out at the 91 and Euclid, the corner of the 91 and Euclid. Once again, Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports high school sports, community college sports, and most of all, education.
Line drive kick here from Marcos Rodriguez. It's picked up by Nellison around the 15-yard line. Patiently waiting for a hole, and he finds one up the right sideline. Gets past one tackler, but gets a big hit from Pruitt, and he's knocked out of bounds. That would be Richard Pruitt, but a huge return for Nellison to give Spirit Christian Academy some momentum here on this drive as they're down 8-0.
And if you look at Nellison after he gets the football, he just jogs down to the 30-yard line, waits for his teammates to be able to set up the blocks for him and to allow him to have those opportunities down the sideline. If he doesn't hesitate and just goes full speed, he's tackled by a couple of Spartans, but allows his teammates to be able to go in front of him, set up the blocks, and he has that hole.
So Zach Stroud is up and moving around on the sideline. It looks like they're checking out that right leg. We haven't seen him on the field since he had that huge touchdown run that was brought back because of a holding call at the 45-yard line. So now it's Resendez, the wide receiver, who will be under center, and immediately we'll have a timeout called by Robert Hammond, who is not happy with what he saw in the formation. So 2 timeouts burned here by the Warriors with 3:18 remaining here in the first quarter.
Here on SportsNetUSA.net, well, a lot of community college football. Fullerton College just gets done beating Grossmont, and they improved to 6-0 on the season. Also here on SportsNetUSA.net, it's the Golden West Rustlers. Golden West against the number 1 team possibly in the nation in the Saddleback Gauchos down at LaBarge Stadium. It's a home game for the Golden West Rustlers. Rashawn Haylock and Andrew King on the call there. That game started at 6 p.m., so it's in action here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Saddleback, the runner-up in the state championship game last year, lost to City College of San Francisco. That's a huge test for the Rustlers here tonight.
But don't remind Mark Pavlovich about the Saddleback run.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark and Corey are well aware of what happened last year. Nellison on the handoff from Resendez, a little misdirection. Resendez faked the give to the fullback DeRitter, but Bakersfield not fooled as Nellison falls for a loss of about 4 yards. The defensive line all over that play as Sherman Pruitt and Marcos Rodriguez were the 2 that brought him down.
Tim Lucero had the outside pressure for the Spartans. He forces Nellison to go back into the middle where the help was for the Spartans.
Zach Stroud back out there now for the Warriors. Zach Stroud and Eli Nellison both originally played at Capistrano Valley High School down in Mission Viejo. And now they're up here with this Spirit Christian Academy program. Handoff to Nellison. Nellison stiff arms the man to the left and uses that speed to get out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. So a nice little burst up the left side. They give him about 10 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5.
And if you're thinking to yourself here on the broadcast, well, that seemed like it took him a lot shorter time to get out of bounds. That's because the boundaries here for 8-man football are a little different, 13 yards shorter when you look at the width of the football field, but it's still a 100-yard football field for 8-man football.
Could you imagine how much space would be out there if they went 53 on the width like a normal 11-man football game? They still go 100 yards. Some of them go down to 80 yards from a vertical standpoint. And early movement there. Not sure if it was the center or the nose guard. And it looks like it's going to go against Marcos Rodriguez for Bakersfield. So encroachment will put the ball near the 1st down marker at the 34-yard line.
And that was just a case of the Spartans trying to predict what the snap count would be, so they jumped off sides a little too early. Too much anticipation there, and the timing was off.
So that does give Spirit Christian Academy the 1st down at the 34-yard line. High snap for Stroud, who's back to pass, looking deep down the middle. This one a little bit short, and it is picked off by Marquise Freeman. And they're going to give it to him at the 14-yard line. So another turnover for Spirit Christian Academy. And Bakersfield halts another drive. They'll take over with 2:22 remaining here in the first quarter.
For Stroud, he had Nellison on a deep post pattern. However, as he delivers the football, just stepping in front of the route was Marquise Foreman. Yep. And if Stroud goes to the full arm motion, he has himself a touchdown. Tried to sidearm it because he was starting to get rushed, and that allows the ball to just float up there.
Yeah, it looked like he didn't quite get all of it there as Nellison was behind the defenders. Washington, the first snap is fumbled, but he picks it up and takes it around the right end and is knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. That'll be a gain. Actually, they'll give him the 23-yard line. And that'll be a gain of 9 on first down, 2nd down and 1. So we've got some issues here with the exchange from center to quarterback so far here for Bakersfield. That's the second time that they fumbled that snap.
Spirit Academy is trying to be physical off the line.
Second one, they hand it to the fullback, Sherman Pruitt. He is held by his ankle by Michael Decker and falls forward to the 29-yard line. Boy, Decker was hanging on for dear life. If he let go, Pruitt had some green space ahead of him for a big gain. Instead, it looks like it will just be a 6-yard gain. It is enough to give Bakersfield the first down, however. And now they'll bring in Richard Pruitt as the wide receiver split wide to the left. 4 men on the line, I formation set. They hand off to Richard Pruitt again. A simple run up the gut. He gets to the 31-yard line for a 2-yard gain. And it'll be 2nd down and 8.
And right now you're seeing Spirit Academy try to stack the line of scrimmage. They don't want him to be able to have the chance to get to the second line of defense for Spirit. They want to stop him at the line of scrimmage, keep it to just 2- and 3-yard gains, because if he gets past, he has a wide open end zone waiting for him.
Again, you have to wonder if Bakersfield is trying to set up that play action fake once again like they did with the 38-yard strike to Morris on their last possession. I formation set once again. They are back to pass. It is to Morris. Morris again is open up the middle, and Stroud catches him from behind at the Warriors' 45-yard line. Another big pass play on 2nd down, and that puts Bakersfield in Warriors territory. 24 yards through the air on that play, and Washington is now 2 for 2. Both passes to Morris, and a combined 62 yards.
And if you look at Levi Morris on that play, he's running down the middle of the field. He gets initial hands on the football and has to bobble it to gain possession. Great focus by Morris.
Washington gets the give to Furlow. Furlow bounces off an offensive lineman and meets Stroud at about the 45, and he's pushed out of bounds just before the 43-yard line for a minimal gain. We'll give him about 1.5 yards there, so 2nd down and a long 8 coming up here for the Spartans. So Furlow, who had 6 rushes for 44 yards, that last one a 4-yard touchdown run. He also had the 2-point conversion to put Bakersfield up 8-0 about midway through this first quarter. And that's just his first touch of this drive here as Washington back under center. Richard Pruitt, the wide receiver, split wide to the left. And another bobbled snap there. Richard Pruitt gets the handoff on the end around, and he's got open space. He'll be brought down at about the 30-yard line. And the reverse getting Bakersfield another first down as they continue to march here against Spirit Christian Academy. On the tackle was Moises Jimenez.
And those are the types of plays that the Spartans can use to their advantage. If they're going to use speed, they need open space. If they go to the outside, like you said, the end around, that gives them that open space, and Spirit is going to have to try to play catch-up.
14-yard gain on, I believe that was 2nd down, and that will end the first quarter. So a slow quarter for both teams as we got off at 6:45 on this football game, but now Bakersfield starting to turn things around and get some momentum offensively, really using the run well to set up that play action pass up the middle to Levi Morris. It worked twice, and both times it netted big yards.
And what they're just trying to do is they're trying to make sure that the defensive line for Spirit Academy is going to wear down. Because if you start trying to run the ball, it takes a toll on the defense, something that not too many people realize. You have to make a tackle every single time. When you're going to the air, sometimes, the receiver will drop it. You can break out the pass, but on a running play, you have to tackle someone every single time. You have to follow your assignment, and it beats up on the defense, and that's where you see the passing play, the play action, go into effect for the Spartans because it catches the defense napping. They're expecting run, run, run. What are they going to do again? They're going to run. So you see the Spartans, they go with the play action. They just slip Morris to the outs to a quick slant and go right up the middle post route. You throw him the football, just lob it up to him and allow him to get it.
Offensively, it was a struggle for Spirit Christian Academy. Nellison got a couple of good gains on first down, but Zach Stroud missed most of the quarter after that long, what would have been a touchdown run called back for holding. Missed much of that first quarter and kind of had to make sure his right leg was good enough to come back in. Looks like Spirit Christian Academy is changing their uniform colors here. The navy blue perhaps clashing a little bit too similar with the dark purple that Bakersfield is wearing. So we got a wardrobe change here for Spirit Christian Academy. The other thing that we hadn't touched up on in that first quarter is one of the big names for Spirit Christian Academy who is not in the game tonight, and that's Ian Breyer. He had a big game last week, a touchdown pass to Zach Stroud for 22 yards, and he was one of the big hitters on defense as well, who was able to swarm to the ball and bring down the ball carrier. How much are they missing him so far tonight?
You're going to start to see it in the second half when fresh legs are going to be a factor because in 8-man football, it's a lot more running and a lot more trying to get to that open space. So you're going to see it in the second half when defensive coverage to the outside, that play action pass, you need Ian Breyer to be able to slip back into coverage and cover a guy like Morris. On those two passing plays, you have to start to wonder and think to yourself, well, if Breyer's in there, do they make that pass? Because Breyer has the length. He's a couple inches taller than Morris, and he could have that ability to break up the pass.
Yeah, Breyer at 6'1", 153. Levi Morris, the tight end, also at 6'1", but again, with who is back there for Spirit Christian Academy, Breyer would definitely be an advantage because of his athleticism, but unfortunately not available tonight. As you brought up before the game, he is in concussion protocol. He suffered a big hit last week in the third quarter. And again, regardless of what side of the ball he's on, he's a big loss for this team.
And you mentioned on offense, he had that 22-yard strike. They were going to Stroud and Ian Breyer, both under center, and he had that ability to just step in to the quarterbacking position. They could throw him to the wide receiver position, or even throw him in at quarterback and occasionally give him a running play. He was that versatile utility player, if you want to go to baseball terms, the utility player
Yep.
for Spirit Academy, and they're going to start to miss him in that second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And imagine how much of a help it would have been to have Breyer out there when Zach Stroud was not available for most of that first quarter as well. He could have allowed Nellison to focus on the running back position and Resendez to continue focusing as the wide receiver. Other guys not here tonight for Spirit Christian Academy. Lucas Magana is injured. He is not out there tonight. Andrew Cortez, Angel Camacho, and Dominic DeViro. Junior Vasquez, all rostered players who are not at the field here tonight. Breyer is not playing, but he is on the sideline cheering on the teammates.
Direct quote from Breyer. He wants to have a good game, make sure everybody's watered up in time.
That's a team player right there. If your focus, you can't play the game, your focus is to make sure everybody else who is in the game is good to go. So, you know what? While it doesn't do anything on the field, he can't help them score points. He can make sure that they have everything that they need to stay competitive out there. Because like you said, 8-man football, the rosters are thin, and there's a lot of physicality, a lot of endurance needed for these 8-man football teams as Bakersfield is set to go here to start the second half. Spirit Christian Academy now wearing white jerseys with navy blue stripes on the shoulder pads. Yes, they had a wardrobe change in between quarters. Washington will pitch it back to Furlow. Stutters Washington was the one trying to block for him. Doesn't quite get the job done. And Stroud is able to get to Furlow behind the line of scrimmage, and he'll drop him for a 3-yard loss. The ball will be placed at the 33. It'll be second down and 13.
When you mention rosters being limited, the initial rosters for both of these teams combined 35 players, which is just a small high school football team if it's just an 11-man game. But with a couple guys out on both sides, that starts to limit really quickly.
Life Academy last week had 17 rostered players. I believe they brought down 13 or 12, if I remember correctly, from Coach Powell. Again, they had the same thing. They used a lot of their ground game. Isaiah Dillard with the big game last week as they hand off to the fullback Pruitt. He is churning those legs, and he's pushed out of bounds by Jacob Lewis at the 18-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down and a 15-yard gain for the fullback, Sherman Pruitt. Pardon me, I think I said Richard Pruitt.
And on the outside, it's Marquise Foreman who sets up the block. He's a wide receiver on that play, and he goes to the outside, makes sure he sizes up his man in Jason Mallon, and it allows for the running back to get some space.
So first down and 10 from the Warriors' 18-yard line. The handoff, it's a botched handoff to Pruitt, and everybody diving for the football. And Spirit Christian Academy, Zach Stroud comes up with the ball. A huge turnover for the Warriors. And they'll take over at the 17-yard line, first and 10, with 10:56 remaining here in the first half.
So Spirit turns the ball over twice. Bakersfield turns the ball over twice. Neither of them is in the negative in terms of turnover to forced turnover ratio, but it doesn't make for clean football to have them both leaving balls on the carpet.
Well, now we got a flag here to start off this drive, and it's going to go against Spirit Christian Academy. Too many men on the field as Resendez was sprinting to get off the football field, so that'll back him up 5 yards. So penalties and turnovers so far have kind of marred the first half here for both of these teams, and these coaches are going to have some talks with their players at halftime, I'm sure. As Stroud under center, they'll have an I formation set. Lewis is the fullback, and Nellison the deep set back. Nellison gets the handoff. Lewis blocking in front of him to the left side, and Nellison will be pushed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. So give him a gain of 3. And it'll bring up a second down and 12.
Finally gets forced out of bounds there by Jacob Lopez. And Nellison, just trying to turn the corner and get upfield, isn't quite able to get to the original line of scrimmage.
Brandon DeRitter coming off the field. 5 men on the offensive line here for Spirit Christian Academy. Micah Hammond, the tight end on the left side. They hand it off to Nellison, finds a small hole and is tripped up by the the left end there. He falls forward to the 22-yard line. That looked like Jacob Lopez once again on the tackle for Bakersfield. So about a 5-yard gain there on second down. It'll bring up a third down and about 7 from the 22-yard line. Warriors trying to get to the 29 here as DeRitter back in the ball game. Resendez back on the sideline. And again, they'll put 5 men on the offensive line. This time it's DeRitter, the tight end. They'll hand it off to Nellison once again, and he's dropped in the backfield quickly by Furlow. And another big loss here for Spirit Christian Academy. Furlow was untouched coming off the the left edge. And that ball's at the 19-yard line, a loss of 4.
One of the biggest things that these penalties to both teams has caused is that not allowing each team to establish a pace of play as it starts to muddle things, slow things down.
So 4th down and 10 from the 19-yard line. And Stroud is on to punt. He gets this one away. It'll be caught about the and muffed there momentarily by Pruitt. Freeman gets past 2 tacklers. Now it's Stroud trying to bring him down on the near side, and he does so at the 29-yard line. There is a flag down at the 28. And we'll see if this backs up Bakersfield a little bit here. But a nice return there by Freeman. He initially dropped the ball at his own 45-yard line, but recovered nicely and took it all the way to the Spirit Christian Academy 29.
The flag is going to go against Bakersfield, as it looks like it was a hold.
Believe that was the call, and I'll mark this one off from the 29-yard line, the end of the run. So this will take him back to actually it's a personal foul, it looks like. 15 yards on the mark-off. All the way back to the 44-yard line, but still good field position here for Bakersfield as the Spartans lead 8-0 with 8:42 to go here in this first half. And once again, they'll bring out the I formation with Richard Pruitt split wide to the left. Furlow the deep setback, and Sherman Pruitt the fullback. Another dropped snap, and this time it's Vasquez coming in for the tackle. And a big loss of 3 on first down for Bakersfield. And for Spirit Christian Academy, if the offense hasn't quite been working, they're limiting the opposing offense at least a little bit here in this second quarter so far. As another timeout taken here with 8:28 remaining. This timeout taken by Bakersfield as the Spartans lead 8-0 over Spirit Christian Academy on homecoming night for the Warriors. Right now, this crowd hoping that the Warriors can get a stop and get a score to tie up the ball game here in the second quarter. Again, you're watching 8-Man football here on SportsNetUSA.net. Nathan Percy alongside Ryan Osborn. Ryan pulling double duty tonight, operating the camera, providing color commentary. His eyesight quite a bit better than mine so far in this football game. We're having fun down here in Santa Ana. We're at Santa Ana Stadium. It's these two teams playing on Eddie West Field on a Saturday night. As Darius Washington back under center, I formation set. They pitch it back to Furlow. Furlow trying to cut to the outside, but a good pursuit there by Spirit Christian Academy. He dives forward to the line of scrimmage to limit his losses, but Zach Stroud, the man who wrapped him up around the ankles, and was able to hang on as Furlow fell forward.
And for Stroud, he was trying to wrap him up around the legs like you just mentioned. The thing is that with a guy trying to go forward and get to the yardsticks, he has to try to stop the upward momentum, get his pad level a little bit lower, but instead he goes for the legs, is able to make the tackle. However, an additional 4 yards are tacked on.
Looked like Stroud, and I believe Lewis was the man who came in with some help there for Stroud. But Furlow able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 13 is Washington again under center. Watch out for Morris. He's looking left towards Richard Pruitt. And this one tipped away by Resendez, and a flag thrown at the 17-yard line. And it looks like, if I'm guessing correctly, they're going to call pass interference, but I'm not sure I saw a foul there.
That was just Resendez going up for the football, and he made contact with the football. He turned around, tries to catch the football with one hand.
This one actually is going to go against Bakersfield. It looked like they called pass interference against the Spartans there for not allowing Resendez to go up with both arms. Resendez and the defense want Hammond to decline the call, so it brings up 4th down and 13. You see DeRitter over there making the motion, please, please decline this penalty. And they will decline it. It'll bring up a 4th down and 13. Ball just outside the Warriors' 47-yard line. Bakersfield coming out again in the I formation set. Washington under center. Furlow the deep setback. Washington back to pass, looking for Pruitt once again. This time, Resendez cuts it off once again. It's incomplete, and it's a turnover on downs.
Resendez made sure that he had his guy in coverage. Once he goes up for the football, he turns around, faces where the football is coming from, so that way he doesn't get the pass interference penalty. He turns around, switches his body positioning, gets the inside track to the football, and while the football is coming to him, he tries to get his hands up, is only able to deflect it to the ground, but a great job by Resendez in not allowing his receiver to get to the football, but also putting himself in position to take the interception.
Pruitt with the step on Resendez there, but Resendez with 1, great closing speed, and 2, a 6-inch reach advantage. He's 6'3", and Richard Pruitt is 5'7". Actually, that's 8 inches. I'm thinking 10 inches per foot. That's not right. Zach Stroud on first down here for Spirit Christian Academy will take it to the outside, scrambling towards the far side of the field, and that will put him right about the first down marker at the Spartans' 43-yard line.
Mr. Percy, you're thinking 8-man football where everything's a little bit shorter.
I would say that may be accurate. So they put the ball at the 42-yard line. Stroud with 11 yards on first down. And that will give Spirit Christian Academy a fresh set of downs as they bring on Robert Murphy to replace one of the linemen here. Lewis on the sideline. And it looks like Gutierrez has been taken out of the formation this time as well. So 2 receivers, DeRitter and Nellison on the right, and it looks like they're going to throw a flag for delay of game. I believe that's the 3rd time that Spirit Christian Academy has been flagged for a 5-yard infraction on first down in this half. So they'll try it again, first down and 15. And it looked like they were bringing out a formation for Stroud to air it out a little bit.
And when you talk about this first half, it's been a little bit over 50 minutes so far since this game started. So for 2 15-minute quarters, we've got close to an hour of game time.
DeRitter and Nellison split wide to the right. Resendez to the left. It looks like they're going to go up the middle for the tight end. And it's caught at the 40 by McFarland. McFarland fighting for more yards, and he's dropped at the 40-yard line. I believe they'll give him forward progress to the 38 or so, and if so, that would be about a 7-yard gain on first down. Actually, make that a 9-yard gain on first down, so they'll bring up a 2nd and about 7.
And from what it looked like up here, it looked like that should have been a fumble on McFarland because he was still making forward progress, and the referees were allowing him to make that forward progress. He wasn't stopped, even though he had a lot of would-be tacklers on him. So when that ball hit the carpet, he was still making forward progress, and his knees had yet to hit the ground.
That play ended up at about the 38-yard line, and now it's at the 23, so a personal foul called against Bakersfield. We missed that flag on the field. It might have been a face mask, too, because there were a lot of purple jerseys in there trying to grab at McFarland. So McFarland, the center, with Decker to his left, Gutierrez to his right, Stroud all alone in the backfield, makes the pass to Resendez. It slips out of his hands, and Resendez knows he should have had that play. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 as the ball comes back to the 23-yard line.
So while we laud Resendez on the defensive side of the football and getting in position and breaking up the pass, this time he's a wide receiver, so he's got to be able to make that pass or make that catch. And if you talk to Mark Pavlovich, he says, you get your hand on the football, you should be able to make the catch. We're going to be a little bit more lenient here at the high school level.
What if it's outstretched and your other hand is on the complete opposite side of your body? Is that still something that you have to come down with, according to Mr. Pavlovich?
If you can get your hand on the football.
There's no leniency there, I guess, for Mr. Pavlovich.
Oh, no, you should see him as a baseball scorer.
Oh, man. Errors all over the field is what I'm guessing. As Stroud completes the pass to Resendez here on 2nd down, but Resendez can only bring it back to the 23-yard line, so no gain there. It'll bring up a 3rd and 10 as this ball remains at the 23. 2 of 4 for Stroud, throwing the ball for 9 yards so far tonight. Stroud fakes the give to Nellison. He'll take it to the left side himself, and he's caught by Washington at the 21-yard line. They may give him the 20 there for a 3-yard gain, but it'll bring up a 4th down and 7.
So now you're seeing Spirit Christian Academy go to the ground game themselves. They've gone with running plays for the most part in this offensive drive, and it's allowed them to gain a lot of yardage, close to 50 yards so far gained on this offensive drive, but you also have to keep in mind that 15-yard personal foul.
4th and 7. Big play coming up here for the Warriors. 5 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. They give it to Nellison. Nellison trying left. Cuts it back to the middle. Looks like he'll have enough for first down yardage. Cuts again, and he's caught at the 8-yard line. One of the side judges takes a plunge as Washington runs into him. He's up and okay, but it's a big run for Nellison and a first down. About 13-yard gain for the running back, and that takes it down to the 8-yard line.
And what does Nellison do once he gets to the outside? Waits for his blockers. Initially, he goes behind Michael Decker, allows him to lead the way, and then once he is finished with his assignment, he goes behind Resendez and follows him for the first.
Stroud in shotgun. He looks to the left. Now he'll scramble away as Lopez was closing in. He'll take a run for it himself, and he's nudged out of bounds by Furlow. They'll keep the clock running here as he gets it down to the 6-yard line. Gain of a couple there for Stroud. Spirit Christian Academy knocking on the door here. They're in the red zone. And it'll be 2nd and goal coming up. This is really the first drive that we've seen Spirit Christian Academy start to put some things together, and they've converted on some big third downs, especially that Nellison run down to the 8-yard line. Now 4 minutes and counting remaining here in the first half. 2 receivers to the left. It's Hammond and Resendez as the snap is high. The give is fumbled and picked up, or pardon me, fallen upon at the 10-yard line. Looked like Decker was the man who got there. It'll be a loss of 4, but Spirit Christian Academy still holding on to possession here in the red zone.
And forcing the fumble there is Jacob Lopez, the 5'9", 155-pound linebacker / defensive lineman for Bakersfield.
Lopez has had a hand in quite a few plays tonight. Richard Pruitt had a hand in quite a few plays as a linebacker earlier in the ball game, and now it's 3rd down and goal from the 10. Stroud all alone. Here comes Lopez again, forces him out of the pocket. He throws to the middle of the end zone, and there's a flag at the 10. There's a flag at the end zone. He was going for Micah Hammond, and Hammond's path to the ball was impeded upon by Marcus Furlow. So I believe that's where one of the flags comes from. Let's see what this flag at the 10-yard line is. Looks to be a hold against Spirit Christian Academy, and then the pass interference going against Bakersfield. Those penalties will offset. We'll try it again. 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. Boy, that head referee really makes those calls quickly, doesn't he?
Yes, indeed.
You got to keep your eye on him at all times just to make sure. So here we go, 3rd and 10 once again, 3rd and goal from the 10. Stroud hands it off to Nellison, then goes to block for him. Nellison swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. He spins forward and falls to maybe the 9-yard line to salvage something out of nothing. But it'll bring up a 4th and goal from the 9-yard line. Christian Casadana, one of the first men there on the tackle for Bakersfield. And now Spirit Christian Academy with some pressure here. They'll bring in DeRitter.
That was just a delayed shotgun pitch there from Stroud to Nellison. So Stroud takes the snap. He just tosses it over to Nellison on his right-hand side after a second of hesitation, and then he goes to be the lead blocker to the outside. Unfortunately for Nellison, there were a couple more defenders there for the help.
So 4th down and goal from the 9. Stroud fakes the give to Nellison. He'll now throw it towards the right side. Touchdown, Resendez. But there is a flag at the 17-yard line. And now another one in the end zone. I believe that one will be a personal foul after the penalty. After the play. As Decker hit the deck. And walking off the field for Bakersfield is Tim Lucero. The big question is, what is the flag here at the 17-yard line? If it stands, it's a 9-yard touchdown pass to Resendez, who fought off the defender in the corner of the end zone to come down with it. Personal foul against Bakersfield. That penalty is declined. 2 personal fouls against Bakersfield. So the touchdown will count here for Spirit Christian Academy. A 9-yard pass from Stroud to Resendez. They just signaled the touchdown. It is now 8-6 with the conversion play coming up here for Spirit Christian Academy.
And if you're wondering to yourself, why they would decline one personal foul and then accept the other one? And so the reason why is because the first personal foul would have negated the touchdown. The second personal foul was a dead ball foul that happened after the touchdown was recorded. So they're going to negate the first one because that allows the points to continue to go onto the board for Spirit Academy, and then they'll accept the second one as it was a dead ball foul and will be enforced on the kickoff.
Well, they haven't put the score up on the board. I'm pretty sure they did signal touchdown, and now the 2-point conversion is in there. We're under the impression that that was a touchdown, and this is a 2-point conversion attempt, which was just run in by Stroud, I believe. And that will make it 8-8, all tied up here with 2:09 remaining in the first half. A huge touchdown pass on 4th down and goal from the 9-yard line from Stroud to Resendez. And we are all tied up despite the scoreboard saying 8-6. It is 8-all with 2:09 remaining here in the first half.
That was a long drive by Spirit Academy. It took over 7 minutes in total for Spirit Academy to be able to get into the end zone. Their drive started at their own 36-yard line, and they went all the way to the end zone. That included a 15-yard personal foul penalty on Bakersfield. So if you count the 36 all the way down to the end zone, that's going to end up as a 64-yard touchdown drive for Spirit Academy.
Some big plays made on that drive, too, especially on 3rd and 4th down that kept that drive alive for the Warriors as well. So a huge response after the turnover by Bakersfield. And the Warriors right back into this one right before halftime as well. And Stroud has it up on the tee. This will be the first kickoff from Spirit Christian Academy to Bakersfield in the ballgame. And it looks like Washington and Marquise Freeman are back deep to receive. It'll be Washington at about the 8-yard line. He'll try his luck up the middle, now sprinting toward the far side. Stroud trying to meet him there. Washington trying to get around him, but Stroud patient, waiting to figure out where he's going to go. He gets him out of bounds right before midfield at about the 47-yard line, and that's where Bakersfield will start. 1st and 10 with exactly 2 minutes to go here in this first half.
And once again, we'd like to remind you that all games here on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Miller Toyota of Anaheim has the widest variety and selection of cars that you can find. Go down to Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports high school sports, community college sports, and most of all, education. Once again, that's Miller Toyota of Anaheim.
Hand off to the fullback here on 1st down. Sherman Pruitt gets maybe a yard on the play to the 48-yard line. He's swallowed up by McFarland and Nellison there. Bringing up a 2nd down and 9. And for Bakersfield, again, a team that has relied on its ground game to open up the couple of passing plays they've run, would really be perhaps wise to try and get going quickly here because, again, those ground plays, as long as they stay in bounds, will eat up clock. However, I will say I believe Bakersfield gets the ball to start the second half, so they could be just looking at that as well and trying to get this to halftime as they pitch it back to Furlow. Furlow spins through a tackle, tries to spin through another one. One of his linemen grabbed him and fell forward with him just to make sure he got past midfield. That was Lucero bear hugging his running back and pulling him forward for an extra 2 yards. It's a 3-yard gain for the running back Furlow.
You don't see that every day in football. but Lucero does make sure that his running back gets forward progress. Otherwise, he would have been stopped at the 47.
So it's 3rd down and 5. I formation. Pruitt the handoff once again, and Sherman Pruitt is brought down after a gain of maybe 4 by Micah Hammond and Chad McFarland, and 26 seconds remain. That'll be a timeout called by Bakersfield as they spot the ball at the 45-yard line. It'll be 4th and 2 as they tick 1 more second off that clock. 25 seconds remaining here in the first half. So Pruitt so far in the ball game, and these are unofficial numbers, by the way, because I don't always get them right, but I've got him down 7 rushes for 35 yards, and I have Furlow down as 10 rushes for 45 yards, so 80 yards on the ground between those two here in this first half. They've done a nice job of changing the pace between the two. Pruitt, the more north-south runner up the middle at the fullback position, and Furlow has that ability to kind of get to the outside and try to use that speed and elusiveness to gain extra yards and get out of bounds.
And what's great for the Spartans is that they have those options. A lot of times in high school football, you're going to see one guy who can do it all in the rushing game, and they just rely on that one guy. In fact, you look at Fullerton Union High School, who will be playing here on SportsNetUSA.net later on this week, and they have one rusher. When you look at this Bakersfield team, they have 3 different options to run the football, including Washington himself, who also has lethal speed.
Washington now out of the shotgun formation. Furlow to his left, Pruitt to his right. He has one receiver split wide to the left. He's looking out that way. He's going to heave it up and getting a step in on the defender, but unable to come down with the ball was Zeke Jackson. And he was going up against Resendez, and that'll be a turnover on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Warriors now with 18 seconds remaining and the ball at the 45-yard line.
And on that play, Zeke Jackson, I'm going to go back to a baseball reference. He was just trying to field the pop fly, but instead the wind got a hold of it and pushed it down. If you look here at Santa Ana Stadium, Eddie West Field, we have 7-mile-per-hour winds. However, when the ball hangs up there, it starts to kick the ball down, so it landed right in front of Jackson.
Jackson had a beat on the defender, Resendez, once again. It looked as if he catches him in stride, that could be a touchdown. Instead, now Stroud and company have a shot, and Stroud being chased down. He gets the pass off anyway and finds Resendez open in the middle. Resendez fighting for extra yards, still on his feet, loses the football, and a huge mistake as Zeke Jackson comes up with it at the 50-yard line. And boy, if ever a time where a coach is just saying, just go down, we'll take the yards and we have a timeout in hand, that was probably a good time to do it.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is that when you want to teach awareness to a football player, he needs to be able to get out of bounds. He had a free path to go out of bounds as Bakersfield was forcing him to the far side. However, Resendez tried to fight for more yards going forward, and it wasted another 7 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, he lost the football, and now Bakersfield has one more chance here. 2 receivers, one to the left, one to the right. It's Washington being flushed out of the pocket, trying to find some space up the middle. Gets through a couple of tackles and is caught from behind at the 45-yard line. It looked like DeRitter was the man who caught him from behind, and that's going to be the end of the first half. So an even game here between these two. A lot of turnovers, and these coaches are going to talk about ball security at halftime, I'm sure. But right now we are deadlocked at halftime, 8-8 between Spirit Christian Academy and the Bakersfield Spartans on homecoming night here at Eddie West Field at Santa Ana Stadium. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with some numbers and some halftime analysis. You're watching 8-Man football here on SportsNetUSA.net. Some big rushing numbers for Bakersfield. Marcus Furlow, 10 rushes, 45 yards, and a touchdown. He was complemented well by Sherman Pruitt, who had 7 rushes for 35 yards out of the fullback position. Darius Washington had a scramble for 9 yards, and Richard Pruitt, who had been playing most of that half as the lone wide receiver for Bakersfield, had an end around for 14 yards as well. Washington throwing the ball is 2 for 4, 62 yards, a 38-yard pass, and a 24-yard pass, both of those going to his tight end, Levi Morris, and the 38-yarder setting up that 4-yard touchdown run by Marcus Furlow in the first quarter. For Spirit Christian Academy, 10 rushes, 30 yards for Eli Nellison, and 4 rushes for 40 yards for Zach Stroud. We gave him 24 yards on that big run to the end zone because that flag was marked at the, I believe, the 44-yard line, and it was brought back to the 34-yard line, which by the time he made it out there, 24 yards was the gain, and that counted because it brought it up to a 3rd down and 9 situation, I think, when it had been 3rd down and 24. So we did give him the yards there. Stroud through the air is 4 for 6, got it going on that last drive, 4 for 6 for 30 yards, and unfortunately for Eli Nellison, actually make it 4 for 7 for Stroud for 30 yards because he did have an interception as well. And Nellison on his lone pass attempt, that one was picked off as well. Resendez leads the receivers, 3 receptions for 21 yards, including a 9-yard pass from Stroud in the second quarter to knot things up. And then Stroud ran it in for the 2-point conversion to tie up the score at 8-8. So now it's Bakersfield's turn once again. They had the football at the end of the half. Actually, it was Spirit Christian Academy who ended the half with the football. No, I'm sorry. It was Bakersfield who ended the half with the football. So they get another opportunity here to start the second half. And again, this being a tie ball game, this game will be decided in the next 24 minutes of gameplay. And both of these teams will have a little bit more of an opportunity to talk things over before we get underway. We also had a wardrobe change in that first, at the end of that first quarter. If you remember, that slowed the game down a little bit as well. The Spirit Christian Academy originally was wearing their home navy blue uniforms, but those clashed and were a little bit too similar to the deep purple uniforms that the Spartans are wearing. And the majority of these players are all wearing white helmets as well, so it made it difficult, I believe, for some of these players to tell the difference on the field. It certainly made it difficult for us up here to tell the difference.
And they waited until the first quarter ended so that way they wouldn't stop the game altogether in the middle of gameplay and just, break up whatever team had momentum. They wanted to make sure that the first quarter ended and they could start afresh with a brand new quarter, and the rest of the quarters, all 3 of them are going to be with Spirit Academy in the white.
Usually the home teams wear the colored jerseys, and the away teams wear the white jerseys. But perhaps Bakersfield with just the deep purples in their. Again, this is their first year as a team, so again, perhaps they only have the one jersey this year. But either way, they are down here. They have made a game of this. And Spirit Christian Academy had to fight back in that first half, and now they'll have to go on the defensive once again early here in the third quarter as the Spartans have Marcus Furlow back deep to receive on the right side. And it looks like Vonnie Pruitt on the left side. The kick from Stroud is a pooch kick, and it was touched before it got 10 yards. So either way, I believe this was going to be Bakersfield ball, but it's covered up by Anthony Pruitt, 5'6", 115 pounds, at the 46-yard line, and Bakersfield will get good field position to start here in this second half. So Spirit Christian Academy trying to come out with the onside kick. I believe that ball was touched at the 48-yard line, which was 2 yards before it could be touched by the kicking team in order for them to come down with the onside kick possession. But either way, Bakersfield covered it anyway. They have the ball at the 46. 1st and 10 for Darius Washington and company. Washington under center. He'll hand it off to the running back, Furlow. Furlow tried to cut back to the left, but slipped a bit on the turf, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage by Michael Decker and Adrian Gutierrez. No gain on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Zach Stroud was also there for the Spirit Academy Warriors. For Spirit Academy in the second half, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to make sure that they stack the line. However, they need to keep one deep man in coverage just in case that play-action pass comes back to bite them, because you mentioned it earlier, 62 yards total on their 2 passing plays.
Washington will pitch it back. This time it's the original starting running back breaking it out to the right side and running out of bounds at about the 47-yard line of the Warriors. And on that play, it was Zeke Jackson getting the pitch back there. And Jackson showing some leg there on the outside, but at the same time, there is a flag. They just moved it back to the Bakersfield 49. It looks like it's going to be a hold against the Spartans. That'll put the ball back at the Bakersfield 39-yard line, where it'll be second down and 20. Actually make that a second down and 17. So another costly penalty here as they bring out Jackson. They bring Furlow back in. Washington under center will hand it off to Pruitt. Pruitt finding space on the right side. Stroud trying to chase him down. Can't quite bring him down, but by the time he gets off the running back, Decker is there to clean it up. He drops him for a 7-yard gain at the 46-yard line. And back to the original line of scrimmage we go, third down and 10.
When you look at the CCIF Football League, it's made up of 8 teams from San Diego, Riverside, and Kern County. And it's a 2-week playoff following the regular season between the 2 divisions, gold and silver.
Pruitt again, the handoff. Sherman Pruitt trying to cut it back up after originally starting out to the right side. Stroud on the tackle. A 2-yard gain to the 48-yard line will bring up a 4th down and 8. And talking to Robert Hammond before the game, he said with a win here tonight, he would be in a decent position in the league, about 3rd place. They would be 2-4. Bakersfield right now is a half game ahead of them. Bakersfield is already 2-4. Looking to inch a little bit closer to a 500 mark with a win here tonight. Right now facing a 4th down and 8. I formation set once again. And the pitch back to Furlow. Furlow patiently waiting for some holes to open up. He finds one on the outside, bulldozes Resendez, and Stroud catches up with him, stops him in his tracks, and brings him backwards. But forward progress will get him to the 19-yard line. A huge gain on 4th down. And that will pick up 23 yards for Furlow.
And for Marcus Furlow on that run, at the end of the run, what allowed him to get past that first contact defender is that he lowered his shoulder. He lowered the pad level and got underneath the defender, and that's what allowed him to use his momentum to go forward.
Pardon me, this ball is at the 24-yard line, so make it a 28-yard gain. And on the first play from scrimmage here with 1st and 10 at the 24, Furlow will get back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
And just to finish off the playoff discussion, the 4 teams with the best record go into the gold division. The 4 teams that remain will be in the silver division. First round of the playoffs is on October 24th, and both the silver and gold division championships will be played at Crossroads Christian School on October 31st in Corona.
2nd and 10. Pruitt the handoff, tries to go right side, and there's Stroud once again. Has a nose for the football, having come from Capistrano Valley High School, and he drops Pruitt for a 2-yard gain at the 22-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 8. Those playoffs are coming up quick.
October 24th.
9 days away.
That makes it a Monday?
No, that would be a Thursday, I believe. 9 days away? No,
Next Monday.
No, you're right. That would be Monday.
Yeah.
Wow. Handoff goes to Furlow up the right side. And Furlow finds some wiggle room there, gets it up to about the 17-yard line. We'll give him a gain of about 5. It'll bring up a 4th down and 3. Actually, they'll spot it at the 16-yard line, so give him a 6-yard gain on that play. I formation once again here for Darius Washington, the quarterback. We'll hand it off to Furlow. Furlow and Washington collide behind the line of scrimmage, and that's going to allow Spirit Christian Academy enough time to get him in the backfield. Lewis drops him for a 1-yard loss, and that will give the Warriors possession at their own 17-yard line.
So Spirit once again is able to make the stop on a 4th down attempt by Bakersfield. That's the second straight time that they have been able to stop Bakersfield on a 4th down play. Now we'll see if they're able to transfer that momentum, as they have not been able to get a quick strike downfield. It's all been a very methodical drive whenever they have an offensive drive. And they're already going to be flagged for too many men on the field.
Yep, and once again, McFarland trying to rush off the field, and the head referee, this is the second time that Spirit Christian Academy has been flagged for that. And once again, it'll be a 1st and 15 start here for the Warriors. Now, Michael Decker, who appeared to be looking a little uncomfortable on the right side. He's holding what appears to be his rib cage as he comes off. Will be replaced by McFarland, and Nellison will take the first handoff here, trying to get past Jackson, and Nellison will be dropped at the 10-yard line. Excellent open field tackle by Jackson, who held on and just pushed Nellison toward that sideline. And that'll drop the Warriors back another couple of yards. It'll be second down and about 17.
And that was just pure will by Nellison, which allowed him to be able to get to the sideline with only a 2-yard loss, because initial contact was made 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but Nellison made sure that he was shifty enough to get himself down to the sideline, made a stretch at the very end once he crossed the sideline to be able to get just the 2-yard loss.
So second and about 16, we'll say. That's a high pitch from Stroud to Nellison, I believe. Actually, that might be DeRitter. And that gets him up to about the 14-yard line, a 3-yard gain. It was DeRitter on the carry. There we go. Yes, it was DeRitter on the carry. Hard to see that number from up here, but it'll bring up a 3rd down and about 13.
Little scoring update from SportsNetUSA.net. 17-10. It's still a 1-touchdown game down at LaBarge Stadium between Saddleback and Golden West College.
Well, Golden West known for its defense, giving Saddleback a tough time so far tonight. Shotgun formation. Stroud will roll out to the right. A quick dump-off pass to DeRitter, who's open along the sideline. DeRitter pushes forward and gets close to the first down marker. He's going to end up a few yards shy. Gets up to about the 24-yard line. And that play will go for 10 yards, but there is a flag at the 9-yard line. It was a hold, but it appears that Bakersfield has declined the penalty to bring up 4th down and short.
And if you're Spirit Academy, you got to think about going for it as they're bringing Stroud back onto the field, because with 5:40 left to go in this 3rd quarter, you got to wonder to yourself, are you going to get this type of opportunity again? You've already gone down the field a total of 17 yards from where you were just a couple plays ago.
So Stroud looks like he's in a short punt. Well, now they'll bring Lewis back. A shotgun formation for the 6'1" quarterback. It looked like there was early movement. I believe there was on DeRitter on the near side. It will be a false start, and that will make this 4th down play a lot more difficult here for the Warriors.
And I'd like to apologize. Earlier I mentioned that it was Saddleback who was up by a touchdown. No, it's actually Golden West who is up by a touchdown, 17-10. On top of the number 1 team in state, Saddleback Gauchos.
That's quite a statement there for Golden West. Is that game in the second half?
We are in under 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
That's quite a score for Golden West. As in this play, Stroud going for it on 4th. He's flushed out of the pocket, and he gets close to the first down. He's at the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. And where are they going to spot this one? It looks like he's got enough. And the head referee is signaling, yes, first down for Spirit Christian Academy. So the ball is placed at the 28-yard line. That's a 9-yard gain on fourth down. And the Warriors needed 8, and now Spirit Christian Academy will take its first time out of the second half. With 4:48 remaining here in the third quarter, we're still tied 8-8 in 8-man football between Spirit Christian Academy and the Bakersfield Spartans. Once again, you're watching 8-man football here on SportsNetUSA.net. I'm Nathan Percy alongside Ryan Osborn. I guess you can call it Crazy Eights here at Eddie West Field on the campus of Santa Ana Stadium. Again, weather conditions are perfect for a football game for these players, and again, it has to be welcoming for Spirit Christian Academy, who played in 90-plus degree conditions last Saturday in a 10 a.m. start against Life Academy.
Crazy Eights. 8-man football, 8-8 score, 4:48 left to go in this third quarter.
Not often you see that many 8s on a scoreboard.
Maybe 8 times or so.
And again, 8-man football. There's your, you got your crazy 8s. Crazy 8s there. I formation set for Stroud. He hands it off to DeRitter, who takes it up the near side and gets a decent gain there on first down. He's brought down by Zeke Jackson at about the 32-yard line. And that will give the Warriors a gain of about 4. It'll bring up second down and 6.
And what you like from DeRitter at the end of that run is that DeRitter stretches out to get a little bit more yardage, but as soon as he realizes that a defender is going to try to tackle him from up top in Marquise Foreman, he brings the football back in order to protect it. He does not want to give that ball up again, as Spirit has had 3 different fumbles that they have lost.
Ball security definitely a key here in the second half as Spirit Christian Academy rushing to the line. Nellison is the fullback. DeRitter was the running back. And looks like we've got another timeout for Spirit Christian Academy. So not what you want to see from the Warriors here in this second half. They've had to burn 2 timeouts already in the early goings. And that could be costly toward the end of the ball game, as Robert Hammond wants the offensive coordinator to talk things over with his team. Just a quick session, and Spirit Christian Academy is back out there. Bakersfield taking a little bit more time as Coach Tracy Terry having a conversation with his defense, and Marcus Furlow getting a quick stretch on the sideline before coming back out. I formation set. Nellison is the running back. The deep set back is DeRitter. He gets the handoff, spins his way forward to about the 37-yard line. And that's just a bit shy of a first down, a gain of about 5. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 1 at the 37-yard line.
Bakersfield right now is on their heels. They're trying to catch up. Everybody is still well rested since you've had 2 timeouts and an official's timeout within the last 5 minutes. However, Bakersfield has not been able to predict what Spirit is going to do on offense in this drive here in the third quarter. They just had that one opportunity when they had Spirit pinned to their own 4-yard line, but have not been able to capitalize since.
I formation set. Stroud will take it himself on the sneak, spins forward, falls on his backside, but forward progress to the 42-yard line, another 5-yard gain, and that'll bring up a fresh set of downs for the Warriors with time winding down here in the third quarter. The interesting thing, we talked with Robert Hammond briefly before this game, and his game plan was slant passes, and we haven't seen too many of those tonight. We have seen some running here in the second half, and it has worked out pretty well here for the Warriors so far, but we haven't seen a whole lot of quick slant passes which seemed to be the original game plan. And once again, we're going to have a delay of game here against the Warriors, and that's going to back them up 5 yards once again.
That's their 4th delay of game penalties so far in this game, in addition to 2 false starts.
And again, those little 5-yard penalties can be momentum, can take momentum away from a team, because now you have the adversity of trying to gain 15 yards on a first down play instead of 10. As Stroud once again will bring the offense forward, they quickly go through the play. As again, Nellison, the fullback, DeRitter, the deep setback. They fake the give to DeRitter, rolling out to the right and throwing it to Nellison. It's off the hands and incomplete. At about the 47-yard line, we'll bring up a 2nd down and 15. Nellison doesn't quite have the size of some of his wide receiving counterparts like Micah Hammond and Resendez do. But again, a well-designed play there by Spirit Christian Academy, but at what cost? Because Michael Decker is now on the turf at the 36-yard line and will be checked up on here by the training staff. 2:28 to go here in the third quarter. We're all tied at 8 in this 8-man football game between the Bakersfield Spartans and the Spirit Christian Academy Warriors. You're watching live here on SportsNetUSA.net. I'm Nathan Percy alongside Ryan Osborn. Happy to bring you the action here on a Saturday night in Santa Ana, as we are at Eddie West Field at Santa Ana Stadium. And right in the heart of downtown Santa Ana, you don't see too many football fields in this type of setting anymore, especially for high school and college football games. But boy, they keep this thing up very well. You've got some historic buildings all around this stadium, and just the history of it sometimes is a great part of the story for some of the teams, the high school teams that get to play here.
Stecker has to be helped off, but when you look at that route that was taken by Nellison, he goes with the double move, and that's what you're seeing from the wide receivers for Spirit Academy football, is once they get their opponent in one-on-one coverage, they go with a double move or a misdirection to try to free themselves up, and that's exactly what Nellison did. Nellison found himself in a little pocket in which he had a defender in front of him, 5 yards in front of him, and 5 yards behind him. So it was the 2 layers of defense for Bakersfield, but neither of them were able to close in on him in time. The ball just sails over his head. So
Moises Jimenez replaces Decker on the offensive line. The give, the fake to the running back Nellison, and now that frees up Resendez. Wide open, makes the catch, turns, and he is in for the touchdown. No flags on the play. This one will stand, and the Warriors will take their first lead of the ball game on a huge 62-yard touchdown pass from Zach Stroud to Alex Resendez. So 14-8, the conversion play coming up.
And when you saw Resendez on that play, Resendez knew immediately that it was going to be a pass. He just put his head down and just sprinted as much as he could until he found a pocket of open space just past the 40. There's a whistle and a flag down before the play starts, but he found himself wide open at the 40, and the closest person to him was Pruitt, and the cornerback had no possible way to be able to get to him in time, as it was a 10-yard pocket of space in between the wide receiver and the defender.
Flag goes against Bakersfield on the first try at the two-point conversion. And boy, Zach Stroud really had everyone fooled, because he's run quite a few times from the quarterback position tonight. And so Bakersfield came up thinking he was going to do it once again. Instead, he fires, and Resendez able to sneak behind the secondary. And boy, did Stroud make that look easy. Two-point conversion is good. It's 16-8. Spirit Christian Academy with its first lead of the ballgame over the Bakersfield Spartans with 2:16 remaining here in the third quarter. You're watching 8-man football here on SportsNetUSA.net. And folks, don't go anywhere. This game just got interesting, and Spirit Christian Academy has given this homecoming crowd something to cheer about here in this third quarter.
And with that 16-8 score and the Warriors taking the lead, you talked to some of the parents on the field before the game, and they really just relayed a feeling that this game was going to be an equal matchup between both teams. One team had speed, the other has intelligence in being able to use quickness. And so far it's been an even matchup between these both, or one team that's 1-4 and one team that is 2-4. But just a 16-8 game. Now one has to wonder whether or not those 2 timeouts that were taken by the Warriors earlier in that third quarter are going to come back to them in that fourth.
Only time will tell at this point, right? Stroud gets ready to kick it off. A pooch kick to the near side. That's going to sail out of bounds, and Bakersfield should have this one at the 35-yard line. However, we have seen sometimes that they want to re-kick, and it looks like that's what the Spartans are going to elect to do here. They'll have Stroud re-kick it from the 35-yard line instead of the 40. And that will give both Marquise Freeman and Marcus Furlow a chance at a big return here as they set up shop at about the 23 and the 22-yard line. So for the Spartans, it's Furlow on the near side, Freeman on the far side, as Stroud has it teed up on the 35, and he'll kick it this time deep towards the far side, and that one will be caught at about the 12-yard line by Freeman. Freeman looking for blockers up the far side. He pushes off one defender, continues to try to make his way back to the near side. Now he's got some open space. Stroud has a blocker. Freeman gets past him. Now he's in between a couple of white jerseys. Stroud gets himself free from the blocker and finally brings down Freeman, who does a couple of push-ups at the end of that run for whatever reason. And he gets up at the 30-yard line. But, boy, Stroud worked hard against those blockers. It looked like Freeman was going to be freed up to make another move towards the far side to get to the end zone, but he comes back to the near side, and Stroud gets away from the blocker in enough time to bring him down at the 30. I don't know what the push-ups were about because Freeman looks like he's limping a bit as he goes back towards the huddle and gets back toward the sideline. Apparently his upper body is fine, but the lower body is now feeling the effects of that long run.
The biggest thing about that long run is that it's going to come back, though, as a handkerchief was on the field. They threw a flag. It's an illegal block in the back, so it comes all the way back for Bakersfield. That would be a net minus of over 50 yards.
Well, that's the worst thing for a kickoff returner, to waste all that energy only to see it come back because of a mistake. And a mistake that clearly I didn't see because my eyes were focused on the on the runner. But once again, another big penalty here brings the ball back quite a bit as Washington will hand it off to the fullback. It's Furlow this time. Furlow finds space. He gets past Stroud and then doubles up Resendez. Now he goes to the outside. He'll just take it out of bounds at the 38-yard line of the Spartans. A huge first down play, and that pretty much makes up all the ground lost on that penalty as Bakersfield sets up shop at the 38-yard line of the Spartans.
And one thing that you're seeing from Bakersfield, the Spartans, is that they love to use the hesitation move to allow defenders to fly right past them, and it gets them some more open space.
36 yards on the play by Furlow, and he gets the handoff once again up to about the 35-yard line. So a gain of 3 for the running back on first down brings up a 2nd and 7 with those 2 runs. Furlow is now at 117 yards rushing on 17 carries tonight. And again, that's unofficial. But still a big night here for Furlow, who continues to torch this defense. He is the one tying up his cleat right there. And right as he finishes up, the official gives him a timeout. So now we're good to go. Furlow is the fullback, and Zeke Jackson enters the ballgame as the running back. Jackson fumbles the pitch from Washington, And Spirit Christian Academy falls on top of it at the 35-yard line. So another mistake from Bakersfield. They give Spirit Christian Academy the football, and it's DeRitter who comes up with the fumble recovery. They'll put it at the 30, actually just beyond the 35-yard line. And with 45 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, Spirit Christian Academy now has a chance to take a commanding lead in this football game.
So what bit them in the foot last week against Life Academy, the fumbles, the turnovers, the penalties, has really helped them this game against Bakersfield Spartans, as they have been able to get themselves into the plus in the turnover ratio.
Nellison gets the handoff on first down, and there's a late flag coming in as Nellison was brought down by Furlow for a loss of a couple of yards. And DeRitter is pleading his case with the side judge on the near side here. And it's going to be a hold against Spirit Christian Academy, declined by Bakersfield, so it'll bring up a second down at about 12 with the ball, actually make it second and 13 with the ball at the 33-yard line.
A little under 30 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Bakersfield needs to hold Spirit because the Warriors have all the momentum going in their favor right now.
Bakersfield has executed quite a few handoffs, but a couple of them have been a little shaky, and it's cost the Spartans. This one, a bad snap from the center, and that's going to force Stroud down at the 24-yard line as he was caught by Lopez. So once again, Spirit Christian Academy now starting to go backwards a bit, and that will end the third quarter. Spirit Christian Academy with its first lead of the ball game on a 62-yard touchdown pass from Zach Stroud to a wide-open Alex Resendez. It's the second time the two have hooked up for a touchdown tonight, and it puts the Warriors up 16-8 with 12 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. You're watching 8-Man football here on SportsNetUSA.net alongside Ryan Osborn. I'm Nathan Percy, and a big thank you once again for joining us this evening. Spirit Academy 1-4 on the season, trying to improve to 2-4. Bakersfield is already at 2-4, hoping to inch closer to a 500 record. But the Spartans have struggled with ball security. And again, some of those handoffs from Washington to Furlow and Zeke Jackson and Pruitt have been a little bit shaky. And Spirit Christian Academy with the football now because of one of those handoffs where Jackson unable to corral the handoff from Washington.
And since it is the end of the third quarter, we'd like to remind you that all games here on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Miller Toyota of Anaheim has a parts and service department that is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Go ahead and check out their online specials at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com or in person at the corner of the 91 and Euclid.
Shotgun formation, another low snap, but Stroud able to handle it this time. The pass is tipped, but it's caught. And down at about the 36-yard line is Resendez. That goes for a gain of about 7. It brings up a fourth down and about 15. They need to get it out to the 46-yard line. They're at the 31. Stroud and Resendez have hooked up 5 times for 95 yards so far tonight. But now another big play here for Spirit Christian Academy. This drive has been slowed by a holding penalty and a bad snap on second down that netted in another loss for Spirit Christian Academy. So a big play coming up here for Stroud. Shotgun formation, another low snap, and this one is going to force Stroud to try to get out of the pocket. He finds Resendez wide open once again, gets away from the first tackler, and now he's got green space ahead. Richard Pruitt chases him down, and he is down at the 24-yard line. If Resendez keeps going straight, I feel like he has a clear shot to the end zone, but he decides to try to cut it back on a great open field tackle by Pruitt, saving a touchdown.
And for Resendez, once again, since this is 8-man football, only 40 yards from sideline to sideline. And so Resendez didn't have that open space to go to the far sideline as he was going to be angled out there by Pruitt. So he tries to go with the hesitation and go to the near side end zone. However, Pruitt is able to size him up and not allow him to escape.
45 yards on the catch and run by Resendez. And now 1st and 10 at the 24. DeRitter gets the handoff and kind of backpedals his way into a defender at the 18-yard line, but there is a flag at the 27-yard line. And it looks like this one's going to come back once again. Boy, Spirit Academy has made some big plays on 4th downs tonight, as this ball will be respotted at the 28-yard line. And it'll bring up a 1st down and about 15. So DeRitter's run goes for naught. It would have gone for about a 5-yard gain. Instead, once again, it'll be a 1st and long situation here for the Warriors. Under center is Stroud. Fakes the give to the fullback, Nellison. Now he rolls out to the right side, finds Nellison. And Nellison has to slide to make the catch at the 26-yard line, a gain of about 2. Actually, they'll give him near the 25, so a gain of 3 through the air, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 12.
A quick SportsNetUSA.net scoring update. Saddleback and Golden West are now tied at 17 after the Gauchos scored with 48 seconds left to go in the football game, and also LA Valley football is up 30-13 over LA Pierce.
What a season LA Valley is having so far this year, as this pitch goes back to Nellison. Nellison tried to find room up, cut back up the middle, but ends up taking it to the outside anyway. Brought down by Lucero and Furlow, and they spot the ball here at the 18-yard line. Pardon me, the 23-yard line, the original line of scrimmage, another gain of 2. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Saddleback definitely has talent on that team. They've got 3 quarterbacks who could be starters for just about anybody else in Jacob Gibson, Nick Robinson, and Nick Chapman. And, of course, one of the better receivers in the area, and Remy Wasserback. So it's a good test for Golden West, but even better that Golden West is keeping up with him as a flag comes in. It looks like a delay of game once again, and boy, that's just really got to get under the skin of Robert Hammond here. I have lost count of how many delay of game penalties that has been against Spirit Academy tonight.
That is 5 delay of game penalties and 3 false starts, if you include the 2-point conversion down here.
So clearly, even if there's a win tonight for Spirit Academy, there's a clear talking point for Hammond as Stroud is under pressure, gets away from Marcos Rodriguez, finds room on the right side, cuts it up the sideline, and is knocked out of bounds by Freeman at the 8-yard line, I believe. Where are they going to place him out of bounds? It looks like they're actually putting him out at about the 7-yard line. So another big gain on 3rd down for Spirit Academy. But it looks like this one's coming back once again. There's the flag. It's at the 23-yard line.
And it was Jaime Vidal and Marcos Rodriguez who were initially there to pressure Stroud into making a play in the backfield. Had they tackled him, he would have gone down for a 14-yard loss. However, Stroud is able to escape their grasp and turn it into plus yardage. However, with the flag, it's going to go back as close to had they sacked him.
They're placing the ball here at the 38-yard line. It is a hold, and it looks like the culprit, judging by the body language, is Jacob Lewis, who is frustrated and flung his arms a little bit there as they brought the ball back. It'll bring up a 3rd down and very long. It's at the 38-yard line. They need to get to about the 13. So 25 yards needed here on 3rd down as Stroud back to pass. Another flag coming in. They throw it down to Resendez, who can't haul it in. defended on the play there by Darius Washington, and it's going to go once again against the Warriors here. So back we go once again for the white jerseys of Spirit Academy.
Another SportsNetUSA.net scoring update. Sacramento City College wins their game in overtime against Sierra College, 21-20. That was the Centennial Celebration game up north. Oof. With Randy Ratier calling the X's and O's up there. So 21-20, Sacramento City College with the victory over Sierra.
A lot of close games and tense moments on SportsNetUSA.net this evening. As once again, it's now 4th and 25, and a pooch punt here from Stroud. It's caught at the 5-yard line by Freeman. Freeman gets to the 15, cuts past one defender, gets past another, and is making moves laterally, and finally goes north-south and is tripped up to the 25-yard line by Eli Nellison, I believe was the man on the tackle there. It'll bring up a 1st and 10 with 7:46 remaining here for the Spartans, who got the crucial stop as Spirit Academy was driving. They had the momentum, but once again, those yellow flags have probably been a bigger opponent for Spirit Academy than the guys in the purple jerseys were on that drive.
Sometimes football is just a mental game, and if you get into your own head, you start to see those mistakes come into play.
So Washington will have Richard Pruitt as the deep setback. They give it to the fullback. It's Furlow. Furlow spins his way forward and gets to about the 30-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 5. So Furlow still going. He's been called upon quite frequently this evening. And he's got himself 122 rushing yards on 18 carries. So the wide receiver for the Spartans splitting wide to the left will be Vonnie Pruitt. Now Richard Pruitt will be the fullback and Furlow the deep setback. And right now it's Washington again. The ball comes loose, and once again Spirit Academy comes up on top of it. Making the recovery there at the 20-yard line is Adrian Gutierrez. And again, these misdirection plays and handoffs have really caused problems for the Spartans in this second half. And now this is a big opportunity here for the Warriors to, again, put this game a little further out of reach.
Credit to Gutierrez in just muscling away the offensive player there in Washington to allow himself to fall on the football.
Zach Stroud on 1st down. Heavy pressure coming from Lopez. Now he's got 3 purple jerseys chasing after him. He finds a hole on the far side, continues before he's met by Zeke Jackson. Limits the loss to 5 yards, but boy, there were a lot of purple jerseys back there with Stroud for a while, and he didn't even have time to look down the field. He just had to find a way to get away from those guys.
And he wasn't just met by Zeke Jackson. He was twisted and hammered into the ground there by Jackson, who put a little authority into that tackle.
Yeah, Jackson wasn't about to let him go. Stroud could use some blocking here as he hands it off up the middle to DeRitter, and DeRitter is met at the line of scrimmage and brought back down by Lopez with help from Levi Morris on that play. No gain. It'll be 3rd down and 15. So once again, the Warriors in a 3rd and long situation. However, at this point in the ball game, it's just as important to take away some clock from Bakersfield, and we are midway through this 4th quarter, just under 6 minutes and counting, as the Warriors will be in the single back formation. One receiver and DeRitter split wide to the right. Now they'll split Nellison out wide to the left. 2 tight ends set here for the Warriors. Stroud with immediate pressure from Lopez, and he's unable to get it to the tight end, which was played by Resendez that time, as Lopez came in untouched from the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up a 4th and 15.
Lopez read the play well as he was coming from the outside. Moises Jimenez was the tackle, the left tackle in that situation, and he had his assignment toward the middle. So once Jimenez turns to his right to get body positioning on another down lineman in Casadena, all of a sudden you see Lopez go to the outside, reading that play and getting right to Stroud.
And you wonder if Resendez could just take a quick moment to maybe nudge that defender a little bit to give Stroud an extra second as Stroud sets up for a 40-yard field goal. And a flag comes in from the far side judge, offsides against Bakersfield, and that will put the ball at the 20-yard line. So it'll be 4th and 10. The 20-yard line is the original line of scrimmage. That was where Adrian Gutierrez recovered the fumble. And now Stroud will have a 35-yard field goal attempt, but a timeout called. And that timeout called by Spirit Christian Academy. So 5:34 remaining. The Warriors trying to make this a 2-score ball game. It's 16-8, Spirit Christian Academy leading on homecoming night. And on a night in which we've seen plenty of turnovers, plenty of penalties, and a wardrobe change for the Warriors.
And you know what else we see tonight? We see an upset. Golden West football goes down with the victory. So Saddleback now goes to 5-1 on the season. Golden West with only 15 seconds left to go in the game. They kick a field goal, win the game. Golden West goes down. They were the number 1 team in state and possibly the nation. And you know who this helps right now? Fullerton College, because now all they have to do is win next Saturday, and they have the clear path to the SCFA South Division title.
Boy, that's a huge win for Golden West, a team that had been struggling of late. Took a 20-0 lead against Long Beach 2 weeks ago before giving up 42 unanswered points, and it's great to hear that it came down to Quentin Conaway on the field goal as Stroud is pressured on 4th down, just throws up a lofting pass, easily picked off by Freeman. Freeman is brought down dangerously by Decker, and that's going to be an easy flag as you saw that helmet kind of twist and turn. Freeman's upset as he walks off the field, but the big interception, Decker is shaken up on the play, and this will give Bakersfield another 15 yards. That is an ill-advised throw by Stroud, who was basically falling backwards as he threw it. At that point, probably just should have taken the sack there and allowed the defense more field to work with. But regardless, another big mistake in the second half for Spirit Christian Academy. And this puts the ball in Warriors territory at the 38-yard line.
And once Stroud threw up that ill-advised pass, it just turned into a game of 3 flags up as there was 5 different defenders and 2 receivers for Spirit. So Spirit was outnumbered in the vicinity of where the football was going to land.
I formation. Washington will take it himself this time. It looked like a busted play. I think he wanted to at least fake the give to Pruitt, but he's still on his feet at the 30. Gets past another tackler down to the 20 and is being dragged down at the 18-yard line by DeRitter. Another big gain for Washington this time on 1st down. Started at the 38, gets it to the 18, and even 20 yards on that play. And immediately with 5 minutes remaining, it's Bakersfield threatening to try to tie up the score as they're in the red zone here.
And right now we are getting close to 10 turnovers in the game.
I believe that was the 3rd interception thrown by Spirit Christian Academy in this one, as Washington is going to take it himself again up the left side. And out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. Resendez there, as was DeRitter, to push him out. An 8-yard gain on 1st down will bring up a 2nd down and 2. So 10 yards to pay dirt here for Bakersfield, who all of a sudden has a little shot in the arm after that interception by Freeman On the return, Freeman got about 38 yards, then 15 more because of the face mask penalty against Decker. I formation. Nearly lost the football on the snap, but they get it to Pruitt, who was swallowed up for a 1-yard loss by Zach Stroud and DeRitter. So 3rd down and about 4 coming up. Make it 3. 3rd down and 3 at the 11-yard line.
If you watch DeRitter on the defensive side of the football, such a smart player as he goes and makes the initial pressure on Washington as the quarterback. Once he realizes that there's a running back to his right who has the football, he goes off of his assignment and goes to chase down the running back, and he is the one who allowed for Spirit to be able to bring down the running back behind the line of scrimmage. Because if it not for him with the initial pressure on the quarterback, you have a running back who just easily eases into the end zone.
Timeout taken on the field here as both teams water up. But again, right now, this Warriors defense has kind of had a bend, don't break mentality. And they've been aided by those fumbled handoffs and snaps from Bakersfield in this ball game. Washington again in the I formation. Furlow the fullback. The deep setback is Richard Pruitt. One man split wide to the left. They give it to the fullback. Furlow pushes his way forward to the 7-yard line. That'll be enough for a 1st down. 4 yards on the play. It'll be 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Furlow has really been the workhorse here tonight. Anytime they've needed something big on the ground, they've gone with him. Furlow again the fullback. Richard Pruitt the deep setback. Another handoff to Furlow. Makes one man miss. Cuts it back towards the left side and dives in for the touchdown. So a huge interception by Freeman. A big face mask penalty. Started the drive deep in Warriors territory. Washington with a couple of big runs. Furlow finishes off the drive. Here comes the 2-point conversion. Furlow again cuts it to the left side. He's in. We're tied. 16 all. 4:26 remaining in the ball game. And Bakersfield with a huge turnover is back in this one. And the pressure now put back on Spirit Christian Academy.
The key for that offensive drive for Bakersfield, run the football. Quick off the line of scrimmage. You saw the O-linemen allow themselves to give their running back space. Furlow with the dive into the end zone both times for the touchdown and the extra or the 2-point conversion. And it's just the quickness is starting to show for Bakersfield. We mentioned it a little earlier. Spirit Christian Academy does not have all their players here this afternoon or tonight, and you're starting to see more fatigue, not as quick off the ball or getting to the ball. They're not able to wrap up on their first tackle like they were in that first quarter, and so you're starting to see that lack of personnel bite them.
So once again, pressure here for the Warriors. And again, late in these ball games, you mentioned the fatigue. Sometimes late in these ball games, it's which team has the willpower and the persistence to come away with a victory here. Spirit Christian Academy set up as if the Spartans will kick it onside. And here comes Rodriguez. It's a line drive kick. It bounces and just stops at about the 17-yard line, or pardon me, the 13-yard line, picked up by Resendez. Makes the first man miss. Sidesteps another tackle, but more purple jerseys arrive to bring down Resendez at the 20-yard line. Another flag on the play. Let's see. I'm trying to spot where that one is. It's at the 37-yard line on the near side. And it's going to go against Spirit Christian Academy. So Bakersfield's problem has been holding on to the football. Spirit Christian Academy has had a problem with penalties and interceptions this evening. Not sure what the flag was. It looked like the head referee pointed towards Spirit Christian Academy's direction. but they're not moving the ball back. It stays at the 20-yard line, and Robert Murphy, a late addition into the offensive formation. Single back formation, it's DeRitter, the deep setback. Looks like Resendez and Murphy, the two wide receivers. I don't know if Murphy was set when that play went, but either way, they let it go. DeRitter gets up maybe a yard on that play, and he's slow to get up after the play. They spot him at the 21-yard line, a 1-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 9, and DeRitter is slow to get back to the huddle.
Casadonna on the defensive line there for Bakersfield was not set at the line of scrimmage, was still trying to figure out what his assignment was. As for most of the defensive line for Bakersfield on that last play, it didn't allow them to get an initial push into the backfield.
Shotgun formation, Murphy to the right and Resendez to the left. A fake to the running back. Stroud will keep it himself. He runs forward to about the 27-yard line, a gain of 6. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. Pardon me, a 3rd down and 3.
So Spirit Christian Academy gets the football with a little over 4 minutes left to go, and right now they're just trying to manage the clock. You said it earlier, you have to be smart with the football, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to run it right down the mouth of Bakersfield, use a little bit of Bakersfield's formula that they tried to do in that first half. If Spirit can hold on to the football and use wise, maybe even a couple of those slant plays that they told us, then they should have a good drive here.
Resendez split wide to the left. Murphy wide to the right, and they're going to throw the flags up. I wonder if they're going to catch a false start because one of the linemen, Moises Jimenez, was looking back at the quarterback to make sure that the call was what he thought it was, and sure enough, they will bring it back 5 yards. Resendez, at every flag that's thrown, has looked at the near judge, or the near side line judge, and has put his arms up like, come on, really? Stroud fakes the run. Resendez wide open once again. He makes the catch at the 50 and is brought down by Washington, who tries to wrestle the ball away, but they're going to say that Resendez was down first, and they're going to spot it at the Bakersfield 48-yard line. Stroud again looks like he's going to run with the football, then stops in his tracks and makes the throw.
You talked to Robert Hammond before the game. You said that, or he said that they've got a couple plays that they know can allow them to be in position to win the football game, and that was one of them. That is a design throw, just a little hesitation there for Stroud. Makes the defense go up. It baits them to go up because they have to cover in case it is a run play, and it leaves Resendez wide open for the reception.
31-yard play on 3rd down. They hand it off to Nellison. Nellison hops over a defender and is pushed out of bounds at about the 43-yard line, a 4-yard gain. They'll mark him at about the 42-yard line. They'll bring up a 2nd down and 5. Positive yardage. It stops the clock at 2:19 left in the ball game. So again, at this point, you mentioned the time management. You want to make sure that you take some time off the clock so that if you do score, your opponent has less time to work with when they get the ball. But at the same time, first things first, you got to score. Shotgun formation, Stroud fakes the give, will run it out to the right side. He's going to stop again. He's hit as he throws. This one's going to end up short. Trying to go for Nellison. And providing the pressure for Bakersfield, I believe, was Levi Morris. That was the 15th pass attempt by Stroud. Pardon me, the 16th pass attempt. And he is 10 for 16, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions so far tonight. 7 of those 10 passes have been caught by Resendez for 170 yards. Single back formation. It's DeRitter in the backfield. Resendez to the left, and Stroud will just try to take it himself. He gets a yard, maybe 2. They've got him down at the 41-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th down and 4. And another big fourth down play coming up here for the Warriors. Clock keeps ticking. Less than 2 minutes to go in the ball game here. As Stroud gets back out to the offense. Nellison will split wide to the right. Resendez split wide to the left. Keep an eye on him at the bottom of your screen. And more flags come out. Another delay of game is called against the Warriors. So instead of 4th and 4, it's now 4th and 9 at the 46-yard line.
That is 7 delay of games on the Spirit Academy Warriors.
As a coach, you have to think that is absolutely not something that this team can continue to do during the course of the game. Stroud will be in the shotgun formation. Resendez again at the bottom of the screen. A low snap, another flag. 2 more flags come in. False start against the Warriors. Now it's 4th and 14. And again, for Robert Hammond, this is he has to be thinking this is unacceptable. 1:21 remaining in the fourth quarter. And now Spirit Christian Academy in danger of giving decent field position to Bakersfield. Here comes a snap. There will be a punt instead by Stroud, and a good one down to the, well, it's going to the 10-yard line. It bounces out of bounds at the 9-yard line. And with 1:10 remaining, the Spartans will take over 1st and 10 at their own 9. And we'll see what the Spartans have in store for this defense. 91 yards to go for a touchdown. Or if they can get close enough, perhaps they can try for a field goal.
Don't forget all games here on SportsNetUSA.net, brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. If you're looking for that new or used car, check them out online as they have daily specials on parts, service, and cars at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com, or check them out in person at the corner of the 91 in Euclid. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports high school sports, community college sports, and most of all, education.
I formation set here. Keep an eye on the ball security for Bakersfield. A big play to start off the drive. A pass up to Zeke Jackson that gets the Spartans up to the 39-yard line. A 30-yard play on first down. And it looks like a timeout will be called by Bakersfield with 1:02 remaining. We talked about ball security, but right there, that's been the play that's worked most effectively, I think, for Bakersfield so far tonight, and it hurts the Warriors once again here in this drive.
And they've run it only a total of 3 times so far this game. The first 2 for 62 yards combined, and now this one for over 30 yards. And this is something that you kind of had a feeling was going to come, because they had to march 91 yards down the field. You're not going to get that with the running game that has been going on so far for Bakersfield, so you have to go to the pass with only 1:17 left. And right now we're sitting at 1:02 in a 16-16 ball game.
Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. So you'll start to believe that plays to the outside part of the field will be in high demand here as Washington pitches it back to Furlow. Double reverse to Pruitt. Pruitt trying to outrace a couple of defenders to the far sideline. He does so, but the problem is he stayed in bounds. And now a flag comes in as DeRitter spins him around out of bounds. Did he grab some of the face mask as part of that tackle?
It looked like it's going to be a horse collar on that far side.
Personal foul, face mask called against Spirit Academy. Another big mistake there for the Warriors late in a ball game. This pushes the ball all the way to the 31-yard line. So the Spartans pull out a little trickery. Pruitt had enough for the first down, it appeared, and they get more after that face mask penalty. Washington up the middle. It's almost intercepted there. I believe Stroud was playing defense. I'm not sure, as the intended target is down on the ground. It was it was Morris who they were targeting. And this time Stroud stuck with him step for step. In fact, I believe Stroud was behind the receiver, and Morris will come out. It looks like he's having a issue with his right leg. I believe it might have cramped up on him. 42 seconds remaining. And the ball is at the 31-yard line. That time, Spirit Academy had that tight end play mapped out. See what the Spartans decide to do here. 2nd and 10. I formation set for Washington. And another fumble on the play, a fumbled snap. As the officials rush in, they say it will remain Bakersfield football at the 31-yard line. Bakersfield quickly on the line as the clock continues to tick. 33 seconds and counting. I formation set. They'll hand it off to the running back, Pruitt. Pruitt gets up to about the 26-yard line and is met there by the linebackers, where he will fall for a 4th down and about 5. I believe Stroud was in there on the tackle, as was McFarland. And I believe they did call timeout. That one will be charged to the Spartans. Ball is just outside the 25-yard line with 24 seconds remaining. It is all tied here at Eddie West Field. 16 all between the Spirit Christian Academy Warriors and the Bakersfield Spartans. You're watching 8-man football here on SportsNetUSA.net. Nathan Percy alongside Ryan Osborn. And boy, this one has gotten exciting here late in the 4th quarter.
And both teams trading jabs, but neither of them have been able to take care of the football. You saw Spirit start to march down the field, and what happens? 3 straight penalties take them out of the position that they were in. They only had a 4th and 4. It takes them all the way back to a 4th and more than 15, so they had to punt. All of a sudden, Bakersfield has the ball at their own 9-yard line. They get an over 30-yard play-action pass down to a little past the 40-yard line, and then you've seen run, and a personal foul to Spirit, and it's allowed Bakersfield to be within striking distance.
24 seconds remain. Ball at the 25. Washington pitches it back to Pruitt. Pruitt has a blocker in front. He cuts up the inside, gets past the second defender, dives in the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. And that might be the decisive blow that knocks out Spirit Academy here tonight. What a block up front. I believe it was Furlow, the man in front. Pruitt able to cut back inside, find a lane, out sprints Gutierrez, and dives into the end zone for the touchdown. And all with 16 seconds remaining here in the 4th quarter. So Bakersfield will go for the 2-point conversion. What a drive by the Spartans. With less than 2 minutes to go, they give it to Pruitt. Pruitt is spun down behind the line of scrimmage by DeRitter. But it doesn't matter. 22-16 the score. Bakersfield puts all the pressure here on the Warriors with 16 seconds remaining.
So this game that has just had a methodical pace to it throughout the first 3.5 quarters, all of a sudden starts to pick up within the last 7 minutes, and it ends with a Pruitt touchdown on the near side. He got to the outside and was able to outrun Eli Nellison on the near side. Once he got past Nellison, he saw daylight and dove into the end zone. He wanted that touchdown because if not, they're just in field goal range, and the Warriors had a chance to be able to come back. Now the Warriors have to have a touchdown here, with only 16 seconds left to go.
Well, the Spartans, their coaching staff said speed was their strength. And you saw that speed by Pruitt there as Rodriguez tees it up. Line drive kick picked up at the 11-yard line by Nellison. Nellison finds room to the left. He has to outrun one defender. He can't do it. He's brought down by Morris at the 37-yard line. 8 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Can the Warriors create a little magic here on homecoming night?
And the big thing, with 8 seconds, you have 2 plays that you can run if you're able to be smart with the football. You have 8 seconds and 1 timeout. Assuming the first one takes a little over 6 seconds, you still have 2 seconds to work with. So 2 plays, but they're going to have to be passes because you can't go to the running game right now with how well Bakersfield has been tackling so far tonight.
So Resendez is in at quarterback. Stroud is split wide to the left. Resendez needs to get rid of the football. 3 seconds remaining. 2. This will end the ball game here. Resendez, as soon as he goes down, he's still on his feet. Brought down at the 47-yard line by Levi Morris. And that will do it. Bakersfield comes up with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and the Spartans come back to claim victory over Spirit Academy 22-16.
Resendez with that last play tries to get out of bounds, but then he sees a defender that is right there, just sitting right there. That was one of the Pruitts. That was Sherman Pruitt on the near side, who was just standing right at the out-of-bounds marker for Bakersfield, not allowing Resendez to get out of bounds. So he had to cut it back into the middle. Once Resendez saw that he had to go back into the middle, he had some space to that far sideline, but then all of a sudden coming from behind, that was Vidal who was able to come back and tackle him, and it didn't allow Resendez to get that open space to the outside. Thus, Spirit Academy ends up dropping the ball game 22-16 after they had a 4th and 4. In fact, they had a 3rd and 4 with a little over a minute and a half to go at Bakersfield's 30-yard line, but they don't take care of the football. The flags come back and haunt them as they did in the last game against Life Academy. So it goes against Spirit Academy, 3 straight penalty flags. They have to punt. Bakersfield comes all the way down. You said it. They have to go 91 yards in a little under a minute. They did that in a little over 35 seconds, and they get the touchdown from Pruitt. Spirit Academy tries to come back, but they just aren't able to muster up the magic.
Teams had to be separated for a little bit of jabbing going on back and forth after that ball game, a little frustration on both sides. And again, the one play that had worked well for Spirit Academy earlier in the ball game where Stroud appears to be running toward the outside and then stops in his tracks and throws down to Resendez. I was a little surprised they didn't try to go back to that play at the end of the game to try to get back into this one. Instead, it's Resendez. We saw it a little bit in the second quarter where he had a chance to go out of bounds and elected not to. And again, he did the same thing in the fourth quarter. And unfortunately, with 8 seconds left, you got to do something. You got to either throw the ball out of bounds or find a way to get out of bounds to give your team one last shot. Unfortunately, not able to do it. And, boy, what a game for Bakersfield in the fourth quarter. Down 16-8. They come up with 2 huge fourth-quarter drives. That speed. Speed is not something that can be taught. Speed is just, you either have it or you don't. And Bakersfield used it tonight in the fourth quarter to come back in this one to win 22-16. Marcus Furlow, 20 rushes, 133 yards tonight. He had 2 touchdowns, and the big one by Pruitt, 25 yards, the game-winning score. He had 38 yards on the night on 3 carries. And again, for the Warriors, another great effort, but unfortunately another second half that kind of gets away.
And that's the thing for the Warriors in this entire season. It's been laced as a storyline for them. penalties, penalties, penalties. They end up with 7 delay of game penalties in this game, in addition to 4 false starts. That offensive line just getting a little extra jump, a little too much anticipation, and they don't pay attention to the snap count, and it comes back, bites them in the ankle, because later on, what do they need? They need that 4th and 4. They don't get it because they have to go back minus yardage.
Yeah, those yellow flags did definitely play a role here tonight. 3 interceptions as well by Spirit Academy in this ballgame, but a plethora of fumbles from Bakersfield as well. So both of these teams, definitely those coaches will have some things to talk about to the players on both sides after this one is over. On the other side for Spirit Christian Academy, Zach Stroud, 188 yards through the air. 2 touchdown passes, both going to Alex Resendez. 2 interceptions. The other interception, the third one, was thrown by Eli Nellison. Resendez finished up with 7 catches for 170 yards, including a big 62-yard touchdown pass from Stroud. That was in the second half. And Nellison with 32 rushing yards on 14 carries. Stroud had 56 rushing yards on 9 carries as well. But Spirit Academy falls to 1-5 with the loss here tonight. Bakersfield improves to 3-4 as they improve their playoff positioning after this one here tonight. And again, the final score 22-16 as Bakersfield comes from behind in the fourth quarter to take the victory over Spirit Christian Academy. As always, make sure to check our schedule on sportsnetusa.net to see what's upcoming on the network. Plenty of community college football games and high school football games coming up, including Fullerton High School in action next week.
And one big thing on sportsnetusa.net, it's the Chronic Tacos Rustlers Review on Tuesday coming up. And you got to think that Coach Nick Mitchell is going to be in high spirits this Tuesday afternoon. It'll start at 12:30 with Rashawn Haylock as the host there. Once again, that's the Chronic Tacos Rustlers Review with Rashawn Haylock and Nick Mitchell. 12:30 start here on sportsnetusa.net.
Yeah, a lot of positivity there after the Rustlers knock off the number 1 ranked team in Southern California, arguably because Riverside I think was still up there as well. But 20-17, the final. Golden West knocks off Saddleback tonight as well. So a lot of smiles, I'm sure, will be shared on that show on I believe Tuesday
afternoon, 12:30.
But again, here, that'll do it for us. Another Spirit Christian Academy game in the books. The Warriors fall to Bakersfield 22-16, the final. Ryan, thank you so much for providing the color commentary and the camera work. It was a pleasure working with you, and looking forward to doing it again sometime soon.
It's been my pleasure.
Once again, for Ryan Osborn, I'm Nathan Percy. This has been 8-Man Football here on SportsNetUSA.net. And again, check the schedule for upcoming games, including Fullerton High School in action next week on Friday, and community college football coming your way next week on Saturday as well. From Eddie Westfield, we say so long. The final score, Bakersfield 22, Spirit Christian Academy 16. You've been listening and watching 8-Man Football here on SportsNetUSA.net. Good night.